And we are back once again. I've got Froob with me here, about to run Sleeping Dogs 20%, a very well-known GTA clone, you could say. We are still raising money for World Child, of course, as the entire event has been about. And I guess there's nothing else to say other than get it going, right, Froob?
Yep. I've got about a 20-minute buffer period with this, so we're just going to get going. There's a very long intro here, so if you're ready, go. I forgot there wasn't an autosave. My bad. Yeah, no, this is Sleeping Dogs, as has been said. This is, if you close your eyes hard enough, this is a GTA game. Guns aren't going to get introduced for an hour, which is kind of good, actually. This is the Definitive Edition version specifically. Definitive Edition, there's a couple of changes with OG and Definitive Edition, which I'll explain as we go through. Most, if not like 95 to 99% of the tricks that I'll be doing in this are... Most, if not like all of the tricks that I'm doing in Definitive are doable in OG, but there are a couple of missions that are actually a little bit easier on Definitive, which is nice. So, with the character on the right, we're Wei Shen. He's an undercover officer, as you'll figure out at the end of this intro. This is a long intro that is just unskippable. Most of the cutscenes in this are skippable outside of this one. This run is actually really, really cool. We do have a good couple of like speedrun tech in pretty much every single mission, which is really, really cool. We're going to be going out of bounds in pretty much the second mission to be able to get a vehicle that we can take over several missions after that saves like 2 to 3 minutes. And we're also going to be glitching a gun into a boss fight. Like, there's some really cool stuff in this run when it starts getting going. It's also very temperamental. Let's leave it at that. I've been running this game for like 3/4 of a year, and I'm still finding new glitches every single time I run this game. Just like 2 weeks ago, when I was doing the intro tutorial, I grabbed an enemy as part of the grab an enemy tutorial, and it teleported me halfway across the map. Game's great. I love this game. Hopefully you will as well. But we get a little bit of a tutorial in a second here. It's just basic movement stuff. There's a little bit of optimization to the movement in this bit, but it's not like something that matters super massively at this point. It's got all of your usual favorite GTA-isms as well. Like at some point, we're going to have to try finding taxis and stuff. Although with a couple of early missions, I will actually be able to do a little bit of taxi storage, which is really cool. So one of the interesting things is the Definitive Edition actually changes up the controls compared to OG, which is really weird. I think OG run is actually on the mouse, which is a bit bizarre, but it's on left shift in Definitive. It's obviously really nice. The guy we're chasing here is called Naz. Naz is going to be a character that's important later. He's a pain in the backside for the run. There's going to be 2 different types of missions. If you see that green marker above Naz, this is because we're in a green marker mission, which is the main missions. There are also going to be blue marker missions, which are cop missions. We need to do a couple of the cop missions to be able to progress the actual story, which is the green missions, and there's several characters that are going to be kind of blocked behind them. Naz is one of them. So we're just going to have to deal with that when we get to it. So the order that we do the missions in is pretty much the most optimal order that we can do with them around. There's one bit I might get a little confused. You would think the guy that's third place on the leaderboard and has been speedrunning this for 3/4 of a year would know what he's doing. He doesn't. But we'll see when that comes by. If I get the missions in the wrong order, it's fine because I have to do them to progress the game anyway. This room is really weird because sometimes the camera just swings to the right for literally no reason. But that's the intro. Like, the intro is just unskippable, unfortunately. And then we have everyone's favorite. It's a walking section. Before the walking sections in video games have got really, really famous, overused. We get to meet our friend Jackie coming up here. Jackie's going to be a very important character for us and during the game as well. We're going to be utilizing Jackie for a lot of speed tech later on as well, which is really nice. But we're going to get our fighting tutorials in a second here. There is actually a lot of optimization to the fighting in this game, more than you would actually expect. But you see that we got a little bit of story going on here with just Jackie explaining about us trying to get into the Sun on Yi.
While Jackie is explaining this, mind if I explain some stuff about the War Child?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Alright, so we have been saying this entire event that they are, you know, helping children in horrible places, but let's actually get into some specifics, because those haven't really been mentioned yet. For instance, War Child has provided life-changing support to 250,000 children and families affected by the war in Ukraine since 2022. Since its launch in September 2022, War Child's Can't Wait to Learn program has helped over 140,000 children restart their education. This program gives children access to technology in order to deliver education in communities more deeply affected by the conflict or where resources are limited. They are actually making a difference. Their work is invaluable. The children are the future, and they need to be able to exist in a safe and comfortable environment. So if you agree with this vision, then donate to War Child. It's very easy to do so through our stream by just typing !donate in the chat, or by going underneath into the info section and clicking on the button. Or, of course, you can just search for the website yourself and do it through that. Every single penny counts and goes straight to them. No nickel and diming. The thing that you give, the thing that they receive. Thank you.
Yeah, very agreed. Thank you everybody for your generosity so far. It's been very amazing to see. So one thing that I'm doing in this tutorial, and it's very important for the kind of combat in this game, I'm actually like not throwing enemies like normally, like running them into the wall. I'm actually throwing them with the throw button next to the wall. This does more damage. Also, yes, Wei Shen just jumped into the scene. Don't worry. Certain cutscenes break in this game, and he'll just start T-posing, including like one of the final cutscenes. It's kind of fun. But this is where the first big skip of the run is going to occur. This is where we're going to do a little bit of combat tutorial. There's a counter button in this game. It's actually like really, really useful in a lot of fights later on. We're going to counter Duke 3 times, and then we're going to go out of bounds. So we have to be very careful when running up here, because you can get a game over if you accidentally go up this bit to the left. So I'm just going to take my time a little bit. We're going to jump over the fence, run along here, move to the right, do a kick. We've just jumped over the fence and gone out of the tutorial area. Nice and simple. A little tricky at first. We are on a very strict time limit right now. We have to get a moped, and then we have to drive over to Night Market, which is the part of the next mission. But the other important thing about this is there are kill fields as soon as we get out of this bit that we also have to avoid. The nice thing is there is a very easy way to tell where they are, and you'll see it in a second. We jump on the moped, do a little bit of handbrake turn to get around a bit quicker. Notice how we got the middle line marker in the middle of the street? That's it. That's the marker. It's that simple. You saw at the top just very briefly there was a do not like get any further from Night Market. You can go back a little bit more than this, but because I'm in a marathon, I'm going to be a bit more forward so that I'm not too far away from Jackie. Because this next bit is going to be a little tricky, and I need to make sure that I don't make a mistake here, because this is very easy to mess up. So as you can see, moped's still here, so we get to jump on our moped. We need to stay close to Jackie. That's the issue. So you'll see that I'm going a little bit far forward, and then I'm going to be stopping every so often, because you're supposed to be walking and forced to walk in this section so that you stay close to Jackie. Obviously, being on the moped, we can go a heck of a lot faster than that. I'm also going to be like staying quite close to all of these stalls here, because if there are people near these stalls, they can actually get Jackie stuck. So I'm going to be trying to make sure that everybody is like sufficiently out of the way. But essentially, we basically need to just stutter very, very slowly forward, and then we'll be able to drive faster after this bit. Getting a moped through this mission and the next mission can save up to like 2 minutes. You saw the warning marker at the top there because I was getting a bit too far ahead. There's a lot of strats in this that I will be taking like a little bit safer just because of marathon settings. It's really hard to describe like how much we really want this moped to be around for the next few missions.
Mind if I read a donation?
Go for it.
All right. We have 50 great British pounds from none other than Lots of S, saying, I lost count on the number of peaks and reloads and Josh's back seats, so have my cap of 50. Thank you so much. Can we get a clap for this guy? That's a lot of money going to a really amazing place. Thank you, S. And with this, we are now less than 86 pounds away from 2,500 raised for charity within a single week. Can we get there? It only depends on you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your generosity. That was a really good Portal 2 run. Like, I don't know how I followed that up with this. So in that time, Jackie's come up to the stall here, so obviously he's a bit closer. We can go a little bit faster here, but if we go too fast, we will get a game over. So I'm going to be like slowing down a little bit here. Then I'm going to try and hit these guys with my moped without throwing it too far towards the port gun guy. Unfortunately, I missed that. That's pretty good. So I'm trying to stay by this little like desk here. Anytime you do this like jump over attack, it's actually an insta kill on any enemy that you can hit like this. Usually you can get the enemy quite close together, and I can use this wall just to get this guy on the ground and then kick him once to get him down. The way that I'm trying to get through these fights early on is so that I don't hit like an enemy one time before I finish them off, because it usually slows the game down when you finish the last enemy. But if you just take them out when they're on the ground like that, or with the insta-kill, then it's fine. So the nice thing is I did put my moped in a good spot. You can only pick up the moped from the side where the handlebar is. So, and I want to, unfortunately, avoid the pork bun guy that's right next to us. He said it, not me. So throw that into the cutscene. That hits a couple of the enemies. Hopefully it does a good bit of damage, but I think my speed was a bit off there. Again, any enemies left alive, we'll just hit them against the wall, start kicking them. He'll go down. There's one more. There's two more, actually. Jackie does try and help out a little bit. It is right there. There's the slowdown, unfortunately, because I did hit everybody with the moped. He did have a little damage done already. So I'll just grab my vehicle. Thank you. This way, I've got it next to me after this bit.
Why was he beating you? He was demanding 20 times the normal payment.
So basically what's happening is one of our rivals in the Salon Yi is basically trying to, like, extort these guys some more money. So we're trying to be here for Winston, like, you know, just show off that we're actually the ones that own the night market. Now, Jackie is again the game over trigger here, so we're just making sure he runs forward there. I'm not driving too fast because, again, if I get too far, then Jackie's going to obviously be too far behind, as you can see. Turn around, you can see that Jackie is running in this bit at the very least. That should be good enough at this point. You're supposed to buy some clothes, but you can just quit out and don't buy anything. I do think I can do better, actually. In this bit, for marathon safety, I'm going to go slowly. You're supposed to launch the moped going into this cutscene. It can kill you. So I'm just going to be impatient with this. Because if you die at any point, you load a checkpoint, because this moped is not supposed to be here, it will get despawned. And again, we do need it for, like, obviously that mission and this mission. It's very important for this mission. So this is Susan. You can help out, like, random people on the streets. This is kind of your introduction to doing that, but it doesn't matter that much. All that matters is it's an actual story mission that we have to do. And again, because we have the moped, we can just go nicely through this bit. I want a little bit of speed to get up here, because getting upstairs, you can probably guess, is always momentum-based. So if I'm slow on the moped, then I'm going to be slow going up the stairs. Slow down a bit to get around this corner. And then ideally, we want to take out the two enemies in front of us here. This will spawn in 4 enemies ahead around this corner to the left. Please don't grab me off my moped. And we can just ram them at the same time. Downside to this, the game over field is right next to us. So I need to not go forward here and then just drive backwards and hopefully take care of the others. If one is alive or grabs me off, this is still fine because I can just grab him. For some reason, Wei always, like, does a counter when getting off the, like, any vehicle. It's really weird. Let me just shove him into any kind of object. There is a bit of speed tech here. It's kind of hard to get. I'll try it once. Didn't get it. Okay. So essentially what you can do is you can jump on the chair at the same time as speaking to, obviously, the lady here, and then you can just skip her dialogue. But it's really finicky to get. You have to utilize, like, the chair that's right there, and it's, like, really hard to do. You're just going to lose more time if, like, you keep trying to do it rather than just obviously speak to it there. So the nice thing is, again, we've been chaining this moped together. We're chaining it into this mission here. You're supposed to be slow walking the entire way back to the market. But the nice thing is the moped is going to be exactly where we left it, which is at the stage on the right. Certain times you can use your phone. Using your phone at optimal times in this run is important. This one isn't important, so we just don't get our phone out. Try and get up here. And I'm going to be ditching the moped a little bit early because the NPC we need to speak to, which is that guy with the exclamation mark, if you get the moped next to him, he gets very confused and you can't speak to him for, like, a random amount of time that can be up to, like, 10-15 seconds, which really sucks. But also, if you're on your moped going into the next cutscene, you can actually die. When I said this game was a bit temperamental, I genuinely mean it. So, can't skip this cutscene. This is going to be Ming. We're going to be trying the Ming out of bounds. This is one thing that I really hope goes well. But you'll see, potentially, I will be in the air. Yeah, sometimes you go out of that cutscene and you're in the air. If you're on your moped going full speed at that point, it carries your momentum through the cutscene, and that's what kills you. In the DLC, you can actually use these vending machines to get a little bit of a bonus for your melee attacks for like 15 minutes, which is really useful for the DLC, but unfortunately we can't use them in this mission. So unfortunately we can't use that, which would be very useful because the first hour of this run is all melee. Up until we get the guns introduced in what we affectionately call the gun tutorial. But this is kind of like another like tutorial on your like chase sequences, like going after like a specific person. If you can get lucky and get quite close to Ming in this next bit, which we won't do because he's quite far away at the moment, you can just interrupt this next bit where he's going to grab someone and throw them at us. What we're going to do is just go backwards and just avoid them. Go. So what we need for this next fight is we need a weapon. Thankfully, there is a weapon to our left, which we can just grab by jumping over this. Let's grab the cleaver. And then we're going to go out of bounds in this bit. And I really hope I can do this correctly. There is an easy way that takes longer and a harder way that is a lot quicker. It requires using the shelves there, but the shelves are not tied down. So what we need to do is, thanks for that, run up to here, stop. Fine if I do, this might be the left-hand side. Okay, I have to do it the old-fashioned way. The downside is the longer you take, obviously the more the enemies like get a bit close to you. So I'm going to go here, shift to the left, shift up ideally. Come on, wait. It's a little finicky on this side. This is why it's a little rough. I'm trying to move to the left as I'm jumping up. Come on. This is very, there we go. Very tricky to do, but you can just skip through that entire fight if you do that properly. And now we've brought this cleaver into the Ming fight. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the cleaver. There's two enemies I want to take care of first. Grab you, punch twice, and then throw him over the railing. That is an insta-kill. This is the other one. Punch twice. I need to move a little bit, otherwise I'm not going to do the animation I want, which is that one. And then we're going to grab everybody else. That's not the move I want to do, but it works. Want to grab everybody else, counter you because you're trying to get away from me. And we're going to throw them the way we came up because this is a 2-floor like story. So this should kill all of them as long as we use the throw button instead of just like running with them. So I'm going at the minute because my face meter has gone off, which is fine. Thanks, Ming. What I'm going to do here is do a full combo. 1, 2, 3. Throw the cleaver and hit Ming, which didn't work sadly. So what I'll do is pick it back up because I can get Ming while he's on the floor. The nice thing about this game, your giant damage from weapons is when you throw the weapons. If an enemy is on the floor, stomping them is also massive, massive damage, but you really want to throw weapons if you have them at the enemy. And with that, that's the very linear intro done. It takes about 20 minutes. It's very frustrating. A lot of things can go very, very wrong. So I'm quite happy that that went the way it did. I wish the Ming fight went a little bit better, but everything else went really nicely. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to immediately set up for a little bit of speed tech. We're going to store a taxi. So I said before about the two different types of missions, the green missions, the blue missions. They're now going to be on our map because we now have full access to the open world segment. We're going to go to the blue marker mission, which is not the actual mission itself, is just the setup for it. So what's going to happen is it's going to play a cutscene but not start a mission. So what we're going to do is what the game wants, which is to get our bike, and then we're going to immediately go look for taxis. Every time we come out of our apartment, we are pretty much just going to be looking for taxis. It's very, very RNG if we do get like an early taxi or not. So always look to the right. There's more chance of getting a taxi to the left. They're usually pretty frequent in this game, which is nice. Now, even if you ram like any kind of taxi like into like a wall or with a vehicle, you can actually still get it. I'm being very careful in case, because hiring a taxi is the exact same button as like hijacking a vehicle. And if I hijack it, then that's not good. So what I'm going to do is, oh, you're in a bad spot. That's bad. I have to do this the old-fashioned way. Ideally, I would have time to go and, yeah, because now you're going to get out, and I don't think this is going to work. So ideally, what you want to do is you want to knock out the driver when he's in the taxi. To do that, there is a car with a tire iron to the left, but it requires the taxi driver to actually drive into the left-hand side. So because of that happening, we're just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is just to drive. But the nice thing is, this cutscene is supposed to erase all vehicles that are in the area, but because I did take out the taxi driver, the taxi does still stay. So despite the fact that I can't use this taxi now, I can still use it in regards of like actually driving it. And by the time I get through this text, we should be halfway to the actual mission itself. It will appear in a second here. Nice thing is I used to do this before I learned the actual taxi storage stuff, so I know exactly where to go the fast way. So this is Deck Up and Delivery now, so this will be an actual mission. This one also has some really cool speed tech to it. This speed tech's going to be twofold over this mission. We're going to be going with Jackie to the docks to be able to basically rob a shipment of watches.
My uncle has a chop shop around the corner. Call it a pre-stolen ride. I'm thinking I'm going to get a steady girlfriend.
Usually there's a car that comes around that corner at the exact same time that you leave out of here. Most cars are not massively scripted, but certain times there are scripted cars like that one. You just want to hope that it's not a bus, because pretty much this minivan can basically push anything out of the way except for a bus. So you'll notice the GPS marker is telling me to go right. I'm not going right. What I'm going to do, this is going to look a little weird at first. I'll be a bit more forward because I want this car. I'm going to stop in the middle of the street, get out and hopefully not get hit by this car. We're going to jack this car. So the reason why we're doing that, we're going to be sticking very close to the right. You'll see at the top in a second, don't get too far away from the van. As long as we stick to the right, we will not get a game over. And we can bring this car into this fight, which is very, very important. If I can do my ram, that won't kill them, unfortunately. If you can ram them going into the cutscene, you can actually take them out. What's supposed to happen is you're supposed to drag the van into this cutscene, but because Jackie's still in it, it isn't registered as your vehicle, so you can't get back in the van. But because this is my car, instead of doing Kung Fu, we're going to do Car Fu instead. So I'm just going to be driving ahead and just, ramming into everybody. These guys get taken out with speed. I don't want to be this far forward, but driving backwards there before this cutscene starts should be enough, hopefully. I'll drive back a little bit more, and then drive forward and hopefully take all 3 of these out. Be very careful because, again, you can see the game over field is right there. I'll take care of these 2 first because they're kind of here, and then I can take care of the last guy. Even if you're rammed up against a wall and you're holding the handbrake, you can do these really weird turns. You should not be able to turn like that, but yeah, if you're just holding the handbrake, you can just do any kind of turn. It's great. That's the first trick. This is the second trick. This one is hard. This one is a lot easier on Definitive Edition, but it is still very hard to do. So what we're going to do is catch up this van. Because we're on Definitive Edition, those blue barrels ahead aren't in OG. So they slow down this van. We're going to ram through this, and then we're going to ram the van and hopefully take it down in one hit. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Oh, I really wanted that to go well. That's nice. It's really hard to say how hard that is. You can get it stuck up against the wall and keep it there, and it'll still work, but it takes a lot longer. That is very, very good. Scripted cop second. You're supposed to take out the cops here. If you take them out here, you have to take care of 2 different types of cops. If you take them out on this bridge, you only have to take care of 1. So I'm going to be slowing down and then stuttering my movement so that they go ahead of me. Then I'm going to ram them once from the side, twice from the back. Beautiful. They'll disappear. Don't worry about them being in the way. And with that, that's the end of the mission. Hopefully I don't die coming out of this cutscene. It can happen. Okay, we're good. It's so weird. I have had that just kill me out of that cutscene for no reason. I have no idea why. That happens in this game. So we need to go back to the restaurant. The easiest way to do that is to go back to our apartment, which every single mission gives us an autosave. We just load the autosave. We're back at our apartment, which is right next to the restaurant itself. So there is a moped over here that you can see. It's usually being worked on. I'm keeping an eye on my mini-map because there is usually a cop spawn in this area. If he's not on the map at the time, you can grab this. Do not ram anything when leaving here because he usually respawns in when we're on the street. You can see him there. Please don't drive into me. Thanks. And as long as you don't ram him, you don't get a wanted level. If you get a wanted level, you can't start any mission. You know the drill. Okay, so this is minibus racket. So we're going to be going and taking back a couple of our pieces of area that are being messed around with by dog eyes. Now, there's actual speed tech to driving the bus. Notice how I'm constantly using the handbrake and I'm building up speed. I don't know how this works, but someone get Keanu Reeves on the phone. So we're just going to drop off a couple of our allies and then we're going to get into a fight at the next stop. You'll see that we'll start picking up speed in a second here. I shall let myself get a little bit more downhill first. So I apologize about the tire squealing, but that's just how it is. And the nice thing is, even doing this, you just ram everything out of the way because you're in a bus. So for this one, it doesn't matter too much about the angle that we're in because we're going to be getting into a fight. With fights and enemies, there are these new enemies that have the arm icons below them. You cannot do normal attacks against them. You have to grab them and obviously throw them into an object. However, with most enemies, and I can see one to my right, ideally, you can get behind an enemy because if you do that, you can insta-take them down like that, which is obviously a lot quicker than having to grab someone and throw them into a piece of furniture like this. One enemy left to deal with. Hopefully I can get you from behind. No, he's on me, so I'll just take that normally. When you take out the last enemy, do not be anywhere near that bus because Jackie's damage is about 2/3 of your full HP bar. I'm not joking. I have game over to Jackie kicking me before. We love Jackie, but he's a little strong. So we're just going to drive to our next marker over there whilst power sliding everywhere. We're going to be using during the run, we're going to be using a little bit of power sliding and ramming like that in an attempt to not drive into this, but in an attempt to get around corners a little bit faster. We will actually be ramming into that in 3 chapters, in for 3 levels from now. You can see the movement is a little weird. If I'm going uphill, I'll also not pass like, because that's a little bit slower. And then when I get up to here, I can start pass lining again. And
Any chance I can interject?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, well, some nameless hero gave us 75 pounds for the board child, which now puts us at 2,489. We are 11 pounds away from 2,500. This is absolutely crazy to see. Honestly, I kind of feel like we're gonna get there this run. Anyone wanna help with that potentially?
That'd be
Wink,
wild.
wink.
That'd be amazing. Thank you all for your generosity. We really appreciate it. So this is one of the missions that's actually a little easier in Definitive. Reason being is that, as you can see, as we're honking the horn, the driver harassment on the left is actually going up like a lot faster. In OG, what it does is it goes up incrementally, so you have to keep hitting the horn every single time. But on Definitive, they changed it to just being a constant, which is a lot better. It's a lot quicker. It's really nice. So mission's not over. You'll see the mission marker is behind me, but I am intentionally going this way. We have to take care of a couple of enemies in this bit. It's between 3 and 4, depending on your position where the enemies come in. It will likely be 4. So I'm just going to let them obviously get ahead of me here. I was hoping to be on the right-hand side. I'm just going to do a little bit of damage, and then we're going to take a big old swing at the end, and then we're going to take them out as we go back the other way. Down. I don't know what happened to that. One enemy going down that street. That might be a bit of an issue. Okay, that's good. So again, I'm just going very, very slowly here just to let them catch up. Usually, that's how the AI like usually gets up to you, is if you go a bit slower, they will like get ahead of you. If you're doing it from the side, you can see it's not as effective as doing it from the front. And then the end marker for this mission is to the left down the street. So ideally, I can take care of this one before we get there, but I might have to just let them follow me down. This is just a bit of an awkward mission in terms of like needing the enemy to like basically like get up to you. Do I need one more, or is this good? That's the end point right there. That's a shame. One more. These are not be next to the exploding car. That'd be nice. So I'll take care of one more enemy, and then we'll turn around and just end the mission. Again, ramming things from behind with a frontal ram is so much easier and nicer. You do have passenger satisfaction, which I need to not hit stuff. So this is kind of scary right now. And we're fine. I'm a little scared of that. I'm not going to lie. Just going to move away from... Okay, sure. There's a lot of very random and wonderful things that can happen in a Sleeping Dogs run. Like, you know, it's somebody parking their car on top of a burning husk of a car and then just running away.
Do you know what other wonderful and beautiful things can happen?
That?
Us reaching 2,500 Great British Pounds for charity in the course of a single week. Double Game donated us 11 pounds, saying, "We did it, Reddit," and well, we sure did. Thank you to everyone. And I guess let's just see how far we can push this. This is already way beyond what we expected, so I guess let's just keep breaking those expectations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all very, very much. We're going to try and do a little bit of a dialogue skip with Ming here. It likely won't happen because I'm not too good at this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna try if I don't get it first time. It's kind of similar to the earlier one that I tried, where you have to like get on that little box to the right and just skip the dialogue. It's kind of hard. So ideally in this part, I would like a car is the priority. Ideally a taxi, because the taxi has a guaranteed tire iron in the boot, and the tire iron is a backup strat just in case this next, not this mission, but the mission after goes a little wrong. Oh, hi, perfect. Very impatient taxi. Thankfully, there's no cops out here. I think the cops don't get spawned into missions until the end of this one, I believe. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Yeah. Oh, it is this one. It's the pop star mission. So we're going to go up here. You want to be very careful when we get up here. Do not ram into either Popstar or the lady that ran towards me, because it will be a game over if you do.
You Popstar? Who's asking? Look, I work for Winston. Dirty Ming's operating in our territory. I want to make sure he's supplied.
Sure, I'll fix him up. But
what?
I gotta get paid.
So yeah, we'll be basically doing a job for him where we have to ram into 2 NPCs. There's a very, very, very tight angle to do this with that is like really hard to get. If I don't get it, it's fine. We'll just do it the normal way. As long as I don't ram into the incorrect people on the way out here, we're fine. So I'll just be spinning backwards and then handbrake turning. Going to the right. So yeah, if you're in a vehicle, we can hopefully get a good angle of just ramming. That was not a good angle, so just going to get out and deal with them like normal. So basically grab the enemy, hit him into a wall, stomp on the floor. 2, takes him out. You can also use the vending machine here. And then obviously I want to get back into my taxi. So this is going to be your introduction to cop encounters on foot. I'm sure you all are very aware in the GTA community of super cops. We've basically branded that term from y'all. Cops in this game suck. Like, you can get really nasty super cops. The nice thing is, the cops in this game, if they catch you, you can actually get out of their grasp, which is very good. We'll be doing that in a second. So the downside is, this is all very RNG. There's going to be 2 cops. One of them is guaranteed to grab you coming out of the cutscene. The other one's position is going to be completely randomized. Usually he's quite aggressive, which is unfortunate. So nice and simple. Your run button to get out of this. He's, yeah, pop, stop pushing into me. So our taxi's over on the right. There's nothing I can do about him being right next to me, so we'll just get rid of him. I can just jump through this little gap to the right here. You can go out to the street to the right and also get a car, but I'm just going to take this taxi because I want it for the next mission. Car will spawn behind us. It can get stuck. If it does, we can just hopefully get past it. If not, we'll ram it. It is not stuck, so we'll ram it when we get around this corner. Down a bit. That was the best of rams. Beautiful. And then before we get to the next bit, we want to call Inspector Teng, and we do not want to get a wanted level at all. That will game over the mission as well. You're also forced to walk when you're on the phone, which is why I'm driving up to the alleyway where Ming is. And Ming is a bit further back this time, so you can't dialogue skip. Actually, it's a bit further forward.
Got the stuff, right?
Don't worry, I got your stuff right here.
Now I can start making money again.
All right, with that, that's the end of the mission. So one thing that starts with the end of this mission, you want to be by the door of your car the second that the mission is over so you can get back in it. You cannot get into vehicles when the end screen is happening for the results. And then you can see that I'm obviously driving straight towards where I need to go. Text a second, that's the one. So yeah, the taxis for this mission is backup. When we get close enough to this area, I'm going to try and position the taxi a bit more to the right. That's fine. I'll be able to get into it quite easily. There are 5 enemies here. We have to take care of 5 enemies. There are going to be 2 enemies that come in as backup. The one enemy that's working on the bike right now, he will try to drive away. So ideally, with me being this far back, they're not aggroed, so I can go and just ram into them. So ideally, we can take care of like 2 or 3. The nice thing is I did hit the guy with a knife, because we can just use that now. And again, we can't pick up like enemies that have like vehicles. It's kind of bad. I'm going to throw this to instantly take care of you because I've already done damage to you, so you should be pretty much gone as soon as I stomp on you. Which, unfortunately, the targeting sometimes does that. You can also grab enemies and obviously like use them against like the walls and stuff like that. This is our first instance of a code puzzle. 4 digits. You cannot use the same digit twice. So what we're going to do is going to start with 0198. It'll tell us whether we've got any correct or any in the correct position. So 3 of those are correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and figure out what the last one is, which is the 2. So I'm going to put the 9 here, the 8 here, and the 0 here, which has to be the 0 here, has to be the 9 here, has to be the 8 here. So not the best code, but getting 3 of them correct in the first one was actually pretty useful. Downside to bikes, you have to slowly rev up the actual bike itself and then put on the helmet. Upside to this bike, it's the fastest vehicle, or one of the fastest vehicles in the game. So we ideally just take this one. It's really, really good. Ideally, we would be able to keep this for later, but we can't. Now, this bit can break depending on where you parked your taxi, which is very fun. This is, again, another one that's slightly different depending on whether you're on Definitive or OG. You're supposed to identify which one the drug supplier is, which thankfully is always the same one every single time and between both versions. The thing with this is you can actually see him walk up on OG. In Definitive, he's already on the scene, which ideally is that one. The downside to the taxi being there is it pushed that one guy slightly to the left, so I had to make sure I had the right hitbox there, which we did. He's always the guy with the belt. So with that, we're going to start to walk away, and we're going to get a phone call from Inspector Teng, which is going to make us actually slow walk. But that's good, because the next mission occurs right after we finish all the Starland.
So we'll have to reach out to another supplier. I'm thinking we bag them both at once.
I agree.
Now, if I'm gonna get close to them, I'm gonna need a good disguise. Can you have your people send something over?
All right. Keep me informed.
Got it.
To wait for the results screen again for the obviously the next mission. Ideally, we could use the bike that's literally right next to us, but the game wants us to actually get our bike out of the garage. This is Amanda. She is played by Emma Stone. The Emma Stone, before she got very famous. There's a couple of like famous celebrities in this. There's Lucy Liu as well, for instance. So this is interesting. even though we know where to go, which is called Bam Bam around the corner to the left, you have to hit these markers. If you do not hit these markers, then it won't progress the actual mission itself. It's really weird. Most missions aren't structured like that, but this one is. This is called Bam Bam. We'll be back here next mission.
Don't let the locals hear you say that.
But this is giving us a little bit of a tour of the area. There's a couple of places that we'll be going for like several missions in the future. Yeah, I was going to say, we've got a lot of long driving, so if you've got anything you want to say, now would be like a fantastic time.
I wouldn't say that. I got a few family issues I'm working on clearing up. Maybe once that's dealt with, I'll get on to figuring out life.
Oh, yeah? Wow. This is a pretty cool place for a kung fu school.
Unfortunately, the school isn't in the temple. Well, not that temple, anyway.
Didn't they use this temple as a backdrop for...
We go into that kung fu school in a second here.
Fists of Carnage?
No, it was using the grandfathers of the Shaolin Fist.
Nice thing is you actually like move the bike during this bit.
Oh, yeah? You got any pointers?
Oh yeah, I zoned out for a sec. Yeah, there's nothing right now, thank you.
Cool.
All right.
Always buckle your seatbelt and only apply makeup
Some fantastic ancient Chinese wisdom.
that kind of thing.
Words to live by.
Alright, so this bit's a little, it's not too finicky, but you want to set up for after this mission. So as soon as you hit the marker point, you want to drive forward and be about there, pointing that way. A little bit more combat tutorial. This is going to teach you about like locking on and attacking in like different directions, which you can do just before it like appears. There you go. Hit to the left first, then the back. Then we're going to do the leg sweep tutorial. So with these tutorials, much like the first ones earlier on, you can't do this like multiple times in a row. You have to wait for it to like appear back up. Now, the nice thing is, this is good. I'm pushing him towards, oh, that's a shame. I'm pushing him towards these two because in this bit, this is one of those fights where you can't actually like use like frozen stuff. Stop that. So ideally, I'm trying to get like the enemies together so I can do like multi-hits together. But unfortunately, that's down to the enemies and like the direction they go in. Nice. At least I got one. I'm happy with one. So a double, triple light into strong combo will take them all out. You're still around? Okay. I know it'd be on one hit after. I'm actually really surprised he was still around. But that's the end of that. So again, I'm mashing get on my bike so I can just get straight on. That way we put on our helmet during the end result screen. We just go straight to the next mission, which is back in the restaurant. This mission's fun. Sometimes it duplicates your bike for no reason. And also this mission is very finicky. Likes to game over you a lot for no reason. This game has some wonderful game overs, including in the middle of this mission. So we're going to Club Bam Bam, which obviously is just around the corner as you saw from the previous mission. We need to not assault the bouncer. Now, what the game defines as assault is even just touching the guy. So what we're going to do is stay away from him. Because this is a marathon, I'm going to be very, very far away. I'm going to launch my bike that direction. So what's going to happen is we're going to do a fast talk section.
What do you think you're doing?
And then I'm not going to touch anything until he's out of the way. Because if I walk into him when going into the club, it acts as if I've rammed the guy. So I'm just going to let him move. I'm not going to risk this whatsoever. You can slightly move before he pats you down by moving to the left here, but I'm just going to wait. Let him go that way, and then I'm going to go that way. So we're trying to get to a guy called Benny. We're trying to like make a lesson of him. He's upstairs in the VIP area, which we want to speak this guy as far away as possible. Pretty good. That's a good angle. Which, as you'll see, he's not going to let us in. So we're going to go and get a hostess. This guy is actually doing his job. He's one of only 2 characters in this entire game that does do his job. Ideally, you can get Vivian before she goes around the table. Or Tiffany, but Vivian's the character.
You're a karaoke hostess, right? Can you get me into the VIP room?
Sure. Just come with me.
See, the game will pull me back here.
You have a bit of an accent.
We'll see whether the game glitches out for me here. I've had a wonderful glitch here where the game thinks that I have just immediately quit the game and then gives me a game over. So as you can see, we're going into the karaoke room, and that is a karaoke machine. We are going to have to do karaoke. You cannot skip it. Fun fact, this first karaoke is actually really nasty. There's only one song available. Thankfully, this doesn't DMCA, thank God. This is, unironically, I Fought the Law by The Clash. It's the easiest song in the game, and it's the fastest song in the game by about 30 seconds. It's the only one you have available to you at the start. When we do mandatory karaoke again later on, there is more songs, but this is still the fastest one. So the game over for this bit if you either quit out with exit on the right-hand side or you get less than, I think it's 80%. It's like quite strict, actually. You get a game over screen that says, you were so bad at karaoke, you were banned from the VIP area. Me in real life. Now, as you can see with this one, it's only using the shift arrows. It's not using actual arrows at all. It's the easiest song by far.
I have something now, if you have a little time.
But we're fighting the law. You got plenty of time.
Alright, we have £5 from Stormraid saying, just to give my good friend Hustle something to read out. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, there's next time we get to the karaoke, we're gonna have like Reeling Back the Years by Steely Dan. But thankfully, yeah, this doesn't hit the thing. This entire club is a DMCA in walking because there's gonna be DMCA music in the background as well. Thankfully, it's too quiet to get picked up. But yeah, this is it's a frustrating place to be. And that's it. I'm not hitting backspace until I see the results screen because I don't want to like obviously do it. I'm not moving, by the way. The game does this automatically. So we're going to go to the VIP area, and then we got a little bit of optimization to the fighting upstairs.
Yes, of course. It's much nicer.
Because we're going to get into a big fight. It's going to be a two-part fight, and it's going to be a little RNG for the second part. The first part is usually pretty nice. So now we can go this way. Bouncer's not going to bother us at all. And we're going to go and find Benny, who's going to run away to the toilet. So what we're going to do once the cutscene starts is we're going to grab the enemy that's directly in front of us, take him to the left, and just ram him into this. This guy, we're going to like hit him once and then let him get up again because it takes a little bit longer to take him out. Now he's gone hostile down. Everybody else in this is just one wall hit into a stomp. So it's going to create a giant mass of enemies right here. It's very unfortunate. Sometimes enemy is going to be too close and Wei will not actually stomp them, which is very, very unfortunate. Oh, you ran up to me. I wasn't expecting that. I need to be very careful not to die in this bit. If you see the yellow meter, I haven't explained that just yet. That's our face meter. So by like doing certain like actions like countering, hitting enemies and stuff, it's going to build up. When it's at max, it will give us HP regen, which is really useful for certain parts. So for this bit, sometimes you will have to kick that guy to stun him, and then as a bit of optimization, run away. You don't have to deal with those two. We do have to deal with everybody down here. Now, the nice thing is they're relatively close enough to be able to use the middle part. I will ideally not hit that guy. It's this guy I want because he's a massive pain. So I'm just going to jump over and then ideally, nice, good double. I was hoping that'd be a triple. These guys over here usually don't aggro onto you. So at this point, I like to go over here, grab them, throw them into this, and then try and do this. That guy should be in very good position. You're the last one, so I'll just take you out. Can I find the knife? Should be over here. Very nice. Okay, so because I don't have my face meter, I'm just going to use this knife instead. There's one enemy in here that's a pain in the backside. It's this guy. Throw the knife. Gets rid of 2 of his HP bars. He cannot be grabbed unless I'm in my face meter, those enemies specifically. These sinks are a lot faster to use than the toilets, so we're just going to use all the sinks. The 2 enemies that we did actually avoid from the top part are still actually roaming around. They might turn up in here at some point. Now that I'm in my face meter, I can just grab this guy and just finish him off, and that's the mission. Yes, there is a knife in his head. Don't worry about it. He's fine. What do we do with Benny? Okay. That's Club Bam Bam. So if I'm right, the next mission should be Pop Star, which is a very long mission, very involved mission. We get a meeting with one of our police officers who are our superiors, Raymond. We don't like Raymond that much, even though he's not actually that bad.
You're late.
So this is going to take us back to our apartment where the game has forced us to sleep. This is going to happen a couple of times. We're going to have to manually sleep at several points in the run as well to be able to progress the game. So you'll see on the map there is only the blue folder available. At this point, we have to do the blue missions to progress through the game. So we're going to be grabbing the moped and trying to get a taxi real quick. Keeping an eye on my minimap the entire time to make sure the cop doesn't spawn in early. If he does, I have to go over and get my bike out of the garage. Taxi that way. Come here, bud. Just stop the taxi and then just use it. Which is going to go up to here. It's not too far away, which is nice. So this is a very, very long mission. There's a lot of really cool tech to this, and we're also going to be setting up for the mission after this one. So if you remember the drug dealer we dealt with, Popstar, a couple of missions ago, we're going to bust him for the police. Got to wait all day. This is the chicken van. We're going to be using the chicken van here. You can actually use the chicken van a little bit later into the mission by doing a slightly different way to just make it a bit more safer. I think after this is the race, right? It's the setup for it, yeah. It is. Okay. So, a little bit of optimization at the start here. We're going to let Popstar go. There's a suspicion level to the left. I'll explain that in a second. We're going to let Popstar get about 150, 170 meters away, and then we're going to turn around. What this is going to do is ideally despawn the traffic that's around that guy. And even though we have 30 seconds until we game over the mission, the nice thing is he actually comes back this way. So we're just going to go down here, position the camera to the right, and then we'll see him in a second. There we go. So he has no traffic in front of him. Now, the suspicion level, basically, you have to drive correctly. Like, don't ram into things. Don't drive on the wrong side of the road. Here's the weird thing. If he rams into things, he raises the suspicion level as well. This can be a bit of an issue. This can give you a random game over at points, but it's usually fine. The endpoint for this mission doesn't require you to get there. It requires him to get there. So we're going to do the same again. He's going to go to the right here, and we're just going to carry on forward, getting to where we need to go as quickly as possible. And then we're going to park up about here at this crossroads here. This is going to make it so he's about 300 meters away. There should be no traffic in front of him. Very rarely, he can actually get glitched out and stuck on a wall, which in this case, he hasn't, which is good. If he gets stuck on a wall, we just have to restart checkpoint. As you can see, it just puts us here. So this is going to introduce us to the phone and the camera. The nice thing about this bit and any photo parts coming up, they don't have to be good photos. They have to be correct photos. So we don't have to make them like really good. We're going to go behind this barricade. Game. Thanks. We're going to wait for the deal to go down. So the downside to this bit is that Popstar's animations can break, which can cause us to lose about 10 to 15 seconds. But hopefully they won't. So I'll get my phone out. I'm holding the button to take a picture, and that's it. So ideally in this cutscene, he'll start opening the boot of the car. Now, we're not supposed to jump out of cover, because if we jump out of cover, we get a game over, which don't worry about that. That's fine. I'm going to take a second here to hope that Popstar, yeah, he's popping the trunk. That's good. And there we go. So, I'm going to do a little bit of speed tech coming up after this bit. We have to wait for this whole animation of Popstar, like, testing the drugs out to finish. Then the game's going to checkpoint us. We're going to reload the checkpoint because we need all of these NPCs to start moving down to the harbor. And by restarting the checkpoint, it makes them go a little bit faster. The guy we need to move is that guy over there. By restarting the checkpoint, it makes him a little bit faster. And we also gain access to that car there. Now, we need to make sure we do not walk into either vehicle in this bit because they're both alarmed. And if we set the alarm off, it's instant game over. So as he pops the boot, there we go. Restart from checkpoint. So again, hands off so that we don't accidentally walk out. So this guy on the left goes down to the pier. We'll be able to move. A little bit of a content warning. I know some people don't like vomit. There's going to be forced vomiting in this section. So if you don't like it, look away for like 30 seconds. As soon as it says pops out the deal, we can just go down. Essentially, we have to like disguise our way past this guy and we're just pretending we're drunk. We throw up on command. And then this guy who's got a really weak constitution is also going to throw up on command. But it's just going to be forced walking. It's fine. Just don't fall in the water. There is a collectible on the left-hand side. It doesn't matter if we get the collectible or not.
That's disgusting. Oh, shit.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're now going to do a big bit of setup for the rest of this mission. So we're going to go up to this boat, hit the marker. That's going to trigger the next part of their conversation, and we're going to run backwards. We're on a little bit of a short time limit for this bit. We're going to be going up the stairs to the right. We're going to go to this car over here, and we're going to get the tire iron from the boot. You'll see that I'm going a bit slower so that I don't accidentally hit the car and get the car alarm. Then I'm going to turn around and go up onto this rooftop. We don't want to go too far away because we can game over. I'm going to go to the edge of the building here. You can do it from behind us, but I found this gives me like the perfect amount of time that I need to get through this mission. So again, remember what I said. We don't need good photos. We need correct photos. So you'll see everyone's going to teleport in a second because the drug deal's about to go bad. And in the time that it takes to upload the picture, we're going to fall off, walk towards the chicken van. If you leave here before calling Inspector Teng, you get a game over. You can't call Inspector Teng until you get that marker on the left. So now we can just call Inspector Teng. So the last part of this mission is quite involved. There's a few little steps. If you do any of these wrong, it's really bad. We're going to do a little bit of setup for the next mission involving a taxi. So we need to get the chicken van back to the police hideout, which is just the next left turn. Oh, not this one, the next one. Do not park the chicken van next to the garage door because the physics in this game are horrible and they will force the car to be thrown across the board and you'll get a game over. But we're going to get a forced cop interaction here. The way to deal with them is actually very easy. Because this is technically one of our hideouts, all we do is just go inside. So it's like that, they're on foot, they're right outside. We're just going to go here. Notice I still have the tire iron in hand. Go. Jump the barricade. Drop the tire iron. Very important you do that here before the getting into the vehicle and ending the mission. Put the van inside. That's the end of that mission. Okay.
We've charged Popstar and his top lieutenants.
Get rid of the results screen. I'm going to grab the tire iron back, and then we're going to hope that we get a taxi. That's unfortunate.
And we've seized what looks like an entire month's supply.
They're usually fairly rare. Have you stopped? Oh, you're perfect.
Narcotics squad combined.
Don't drive. Ah, stop. Nice. Okay, good. So, tire iron in hand. What we're going to do, I'm going to hire this taxi. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to do, because I got to level 2, I have 2 upgrade points. Going to get fast disarm, gun enemies fast, and Slim Jim, which allows us to steal cars faster. So we're going to get this text. Wait a second. Hire the taxi. We're not going to go to the mission. We're going to go to the parking lot that's at our apartment. The next mission is not strictly a mission. So what we're going to do is the thing that we should have done earlier. We're going to hit him with the tire iron. That knocks him out inside the taxi. That taxi is now stored there. The taxi driver is technically knocked out, but he's actually still alive. Again, be very careful not to hit anybody here because the cops are right behind us. This is not a mission. This is just a cutscene leading into a mission. What this does is this forces us back into our apartment, forces us to sleep, and as you saw, I put that taxi right outside our apartment. This stops us having to try and find a taxi in this next bit, which can save us so much time. So, this should be the very first race mission. It should be a forced blue mission because we can't continue on with the green missions just yet. There are 3 race missions that you have to do as part of the story. Every single one of them, and you can see my tire iron is duplicated and there's 2 of them, and they're broken. Every single race mission in this run has really hard speed tech. Like, the first race has, like, the hardest speed tech in the run. I'm going to drop that here. That gets me my first text. Wait for the second. And then we go. Okay. Game. Thanks. Taxi's going to be a bit weird here. Don't worry about it. You can stop and let me out now. Okay, bye. Thanks for that. Lost me some time. So, that takes us to here. We can now get into this mission. Don't worry about the taxi despawning. It happens because we stored the taxi. It's really weird. So, the first race mission actually gifts us a race car that we're going to use. This race car is actually really good for the skip in race number 2 and the skips in race number 1. There's 2 skips in race 1. The first one, super easy. There's also a marathon safe version to do, which I'm going to be doing. The second skip is the hardest skip in the entire run. I have 1 shot at it and 1 shot at it alone. If I do half of it, go over the barricade, and then get a game over, the game is going to crash in about 4 missions time. So ideally, I don't do that. So I'm going to try it once and once only. It is very precise. It's damn near 1 frame. So what we're going to do at the start of this race, we're going to let all the cars go forward by about 4 seconds or so. This is going to free up the ability to just drive full speed. You can do this by driving at the start of the race, but by leaving them 4 seconds, they're just going to get out of the way, and we can just go full speed. Put on the classic music for all the races, so we have that one. So wait until 4 seconds at the top right. They're now sufficiently far ahead. What we need to do here is be at top speed for this bit. We're going to brake a little bit up ahead, but we really want to be top speed. I'm going to hold the left-hand side to not trigger the game over prompt too early. So I broke once there. Stick to the left. It delays this. Skip through this. Don't hit anything. Back on the track. That saved like 15 seconds. That's the easy part. So the next one's going to happen about 48 to 42% of the way through the race. We need to collide our car with a bench with just the front wheel at the right angle and the right speed. It's very hard. It is ridiculously hard. So I will give it 1 attempt. It is something that you can try again, but you have to drive all the way back here to respawn the bench. So on try. We're going to get our speed up and go from this angle. No. So I got over, but the downside was I hit the flower pot. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to restart the race from the very beginning, which is just going to cost me a bit more time. So I'm not going to go for it a second time. So the downside to that is if I'd have let that go, I would have had to have like closed the game and then restarted the game because it would have given us a crash. We should be fine after having restarted the checkpoint. It's only if you hit the game over. But it is very, very unfortunate. That was almost correct because I landed in the flower pot. I did it just a bit too early. If I'd have done it a fraction like later, that would have been perfect. So a little bit of a shame, but at the very least, we are still good to carry on, and we'll just do the races normal at this point. It's a massive shame that, but that's the problem with that skip is if you don't get it and you get stuck like that, you do have to restart. Because you get the 5-second countdown, and if you're like impeded in any way, shape, or form, you can't get up. I just had the added effect that I was stuck in a tree. It's an often occurrence with me in speedruns. I don't understand why. But yeah, what that happens is on that ramp on the right-hand side, you can see that's where the end marker is for the actual mission. You only have 5 seconds to get there, and you need about 4.5. So you have to get there with like really good momentum. That's why if you get like a little bit like delayed like that, you aren't making it. But at this point, we're just going to do this. So again, a couple of power slides into rams to be able to get around the corner correctly, but that was my fault. Just hit up the very end. And after this bit, we're going to need to find a taxi. This is one of the worst parts of like trying to find a taxi in this run. Because we're technically like near the highway, they're a little harder to find. But as you can see, we've got plenty of time. They're not going to catch up to us. But the nice thing is race 2 skip and race 3 skip are a lot easier than this. The nice thing is we have the perfect car for race 2 skip because we need an exceedingly precise angle. And you can see that we have these racing stripes on the car. Unironically, they actually give you a perfect lineup. All right, so that's that. So this was the introduction to Ace and Hotshot. They're going to delay the main story missions for later on.
One in a million shot.
You want a rematch?
Yeah, sure. I'll take you.
You're ready for the big time? Let me know. Everybody knows I'm the best driver in the city. Everyone.
Name Hotshot is very, very apt.
Down two, hot shot. Just as soon as my car is fixed.
So we come out of the mission, and then we just have to find a taxi. You'll also see the race markers are still like on the roads and stuff, and they'll disappear as soon as the race is over. Sometimes you get very lucky and have one coming down off the highway. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So at this point, we're going to go and do listening in, which is down here. So listening in, the important thing is we don't get into another vehicle apart from getting into this taxi. You'll see here that there are no vehicles around us, but by going into this cutscene, the game is going to load in our registered vehicle, which is obviously the very fast race car that we have. You can see it on the right-hand side. Still busted up.
I got it.
So we've got a listening in bug that we're going to use to bug the restaurant, Mrs. Chu's restaurant. So what we're going to do is this guy has stolen our bag thinking we've got valuables. We obviously don't. He's going to go to the left. We're going to do a little bit of optimization to be able to catch this guy. So he's going to go left. We're going to go right. We're going to go next to this couple that's making out, and we're just going to grab the guy from behind as he goes by us. Insta takedown, insta kill, and we got our bag back. That's not the right bag. That's her bag. Like the actual bag. Nope, that's not the bag. So far what you've seen is I've always been taking calls when in a vehicle, like obviously delaying them so that we don't walk when taking phone calls. There's a second reason for this one. There's a little bit of optimization. You're supposed to now get into the restaurant without being seen, which when you take the call from Raymond, makes it so that there is a guard on the outside of the restaurant, which I think is Duke, become a obstacle that stops you from getting in. So we're going to delay this phone call so that we can go up this climb and be about 30 to 45 seconds faster. So I'm going to get the phone call ready ahead of time. We're going to go down this alley. I'm going to keep an eye on my mini map because as soon as I see the parking lot, that's when I'm going to actually take the phone call. Saying something slower.
Did you get the bug?
And ideally,
Surveillance team
we ram Duke. I'm not inside. That's unfortunate. Wait, I'm going to need you to get inside quickly. That might not work. It did because it didn't finish the phone call. By getting on the car, I didn't actually finish the phone call, which is really good.
No shit.
Yeah, thanks. So by doing that, we skip having to go across the street to the construction yard, climbing the construction yard, going across the rooftop and getting in here. We can just go straight in here. A little bit not the way I wanted it to go, but still worked out in the end.
You got something to say, talk.
So we have a couple of puzzles coming up, just the usual affair. It's the first time you'll see them. We'll be doing these ones a couple of times during the game, including one mission after this. So we have to unscrew the vent, find out where to place the block, blah, blah, blah. You can actually do it whilst it's loading in here. Somewhere in one of these sides that I can't see. Down here. Oh, nice. Okay, there we go. So you're on a bit of a timer. The timer is very generous for this bit, and we also have to lockpick to get our way out of here. Again, there is a collectible on the side, but we don't care about collectibles. So hit you, and hit you. Good. And that's the end of that mission. Now, I parked in a very bad way, so I need to try and get to the other side of my car by the time we get out of the mission. So jump over, or it won't let me. Okay, that's fine. Again, mashing to get in my car. Perfect. So we need to go Club Bam Bam, which is just down the alleyway to the left. And if I am right, this also obviously still keeps our like fast racing car like stored up as our main car. If I'm right, this should be gun tutorial. So this is a quick mission. There's not much to it. There's no real like speed tech again. We want to wait until we're in the car to call Raymond. For some reason, you can actually skip half of Raymond's dialogue here, but it doesn't matter because all of his dialogue is going to take up the time that we take to get there anyway. But essentially, yeah, we're going to go over to this underpass area where we're going to get taught how to basically use firearms. This point, this is where the game introduces guns, and now guns are going to be in play for the rest of the run. The guns are actually going to be very, very important over, obviously, the course of the game. We're actually going to glitch a gun into a boss fight at the end of the game. We're also going to use a gun to get the last boss to 1 HP before we actually fight the last boss. So if you know where to shoot, you can already shoot things like the objectives ahead of time. So all 3 of these boxes and the fuse box. The guy in front of us, this is like obviously like a kind of semi-quasi flashback. The guy in front of us, he's Pendrew. He's our boss. He's our main boss. We don't like Pendrew. So again, if we know what to shoot, we can shoot all the objectives ahead of time, which is the lamp, the TV, and the pipe to the right-hand side.
First he was in cover behind the barricade.
And that guy, but we deal with him in a second.
Good. I want you to put
Flying fire shots.
a few things. All right, good. By now, the van must have appeared.
These 2, and then we'll deal with the guy behind the table as well. There's a little bit of spread to your bullets as well, so it's not like fully accurate, unfortunately.
Must have run to over there. Shooting at the guys over there. There was a shooter,
Stay on this left-hand side. It makes it a little bit easier for this next bit.
but he couldn't get a clean shot, so he pushed forward.
So what happens when you vault over obstacles and then aim is it slows down the game. We obviously want to do that as slow as like as little as possible, but unfortunately we do have to do it in a couple of sections. This guy is going to get shot in a second as well as one more. Game, we good? Sometimes the game gets very confused and I have to do the jump again. I don't know why it did that, but that's fine. Now you've become active. Nope.
One more thing,
Can't do this until the actual mission updates on the left-hand side.
but Charlie just ain't the star.
I knew that didn't actually hit the tar. Okay. So, fun fact. In the background, despite the fact that that's not supposed to be like real time, we have been building up a wanted level. We are currently 2-star wanted, which is going to be really hard to shake off. But what we can do is go over to this race mission marker, be inside of it so that we start it immediately, quit out, and we're no longer wanted by the police. Just after a taxi. Ooh, perfect timing. Get this one. So, off the bike, grab the taxi as per usual. You have to wait till Way takes off the helmet every time. This is why bikes are a little bit finicky, and I want to go to Club Bam Bam because we want to do Payback next. So don't worry about the vehicles. We're going to get given a vehicle in this bit. We're going to go with the Water Street boys over to get a guy called Siwa. So now the guns are in play. This is where this mission comes in, where we're going to start getting guns. This mission's going to get a little scary at points. if anything happens to their vehicle, like they flip it, which they can do that rarely, you'll just get a game over.
We're short a gun. You're good with your hands, Shan. Let's see what you can do without iron.
Look,
Okay, every time they hit that.
go in shooting anyway. There'll be workers in there.
So we can get ahead of them. We need to not get too far away from them. Ideally, we can get ahead of them and just like pull away a little bit. But if you're behind them at this point, they usually will go ahead of you.
But you want me unarmed.
Start picking up speed around this bit.
Once you're inside, find your own gun.
We do need to be careful because if we get too far away from them, then we'll get game over. So I'm just
You better have some body.
keeping an eye on that like marker at the bottom of the screen and see how far away it is.
I want to see.
And obviously, they're just going to keep going on their scripted path. So they will try and ram us out of the way. So we just want to be very careful during this bit. Which makes it a little bit faster for this end bit.
Drug dealers to prove it. All right.
Get a good ram. We can get on the stairs ahead of time. That works.
All right, here's the plan.
Good park job.
Go to the back door. I'll look around and wait for my signal to attack.
Okay. So the face meter is now going to be very important for this mission. The fact that it's fully depleted is not ideal. Very nice grab on him from behind. It's not always that effective. We're going to throw him into the box and then everybody else into the wall as we've been doing before. One throw, one kick, hostile down. You have to be right next to the wall. The last guy we can actually take over to the door that we're going to be using to progress forward. Okay, so 2/3 full. That's pretty good. This is where we're going to get shot. So in this bit, the best thing to do is to actually run forward. It's a good thing I'm full HP, even though my face meter isn't close to being full. That will mean that I'm pretty good. This is our first enemy with a gun. You can't actually climb this to the left. It looks like I'm going a bit too far. You actually can't climb until you're like halfway through that bit, which is weird. And now comes the scary bit where we're going to try and run past everything. And everyone has guns. Sam, I'm going to hit you to hopefully explode you. That's not good. That's fine. They're just not retaliating, so I'm just going to go. Face meter's already going. This bit's a bit scary. Sometimes you want to take care of that guy there. Very close on my health as I'm going through here. Didn't mean to get that guy. I got dragged over. You can actually climb up the side of the stairs if you're on the side of them, but because the game dragged me over, it's just easier to go up the stairs. This is Siwa. We're supposed to be catching Siwa. Yes, you can land on the fire and die to it, so be careful. Like that. Now, because we haven't reloaded checkpoint, this guy is still here, so we're obviously a little low on HP, so going to be careful. Siwa is on a very scripted path. He's always going to stop right here. So by staying around here, he's going to keep moving forward and then catch up to us, and we're going to grab him at that point. Because he's facing us from this direction, we're not going to do a long animation of turning him around either. There's going to be 2 enemies with guns that spawn in. Because my HP is a little low, I'm going to intentionally ram them if they're getting too close like this guy. That way I can push them out of the way and they won't keep shooting me. Okay, with that, this is going to start the tutorial for the action hijack sections, where you can basically action hijack any vehicle that you're chasing. This bit's going to rubber band a little bit. Siwa's going to get a little bit ahead, and then provided my line through this is good, we're going to be able to catch up. Avoid them, and then hopefully, as said, I can get a good line through here. So you'll see that he's already slowed down. As long as I can cut this, we should be good. The cops will get on us as well. Camera's going to go a bit weird here. Don't worry about it. I'm using the mini-map to see where I am position-wise. Because I hit that, I will have to let the cops catch up to me. Losing the cops is the exact same. It's just ramming them and taking them out. The end point for this mission is up ahead, so you want to do this as early as possible. That's unfortunate. There we go. And our endpoint is right here. Be a bit careful anytime you ram a bench. Obviously, you can just take off. That's the end of that mission. Cool.
That was fucking crazy.
Okay. Once again, we need a taxi. This bit is a bit frustrating for taxis as well. Because there's like a lot of intersections, so you can just have one spawn quite far away and disappear. Sometimes, again, yeah, you can get lucky and have one come down from the highway, so I'll always like turn around in this bit just in case. And we can only do the blue mission at this point, so we're going to go over and do that one. Which is down here. So again, this is going to be another hotshot mission. So this bit starts really weird. Because this bit kind of starts from the world map here, you can get a wanted level. So I'm going to go very carefully and just try not to ram into anyone or anything until I get down this street. Because if you get a wanted level like at the start of this mission, that obviously causes a lot more problems. And I'm just going to drive all the way. So we need obviously these cars. You can see the area that we're going to. Have a little bit of a puzzle section coming up. Another one of the bug planting sections, which doesn't take too much time, thankfully.
You can't be serious. Are you trying to insult me?
I am a little concerned for the cutscene after this one because the game can crash, which is part of the crash that could happen from the previous race. But we should be fine, ideally. So again, we just got to find out where the bug is being planted in the car. There's no grill to unscrew on this car. There it is. Almost had it for a second there. It's a shame. My mouse is a little higher than usual today, but that's my fault. Didn't calibrate it properly. Okay, so we're going to head back to the van. Now, this bit is really rough. On OG, you can actually get 2 vehicles spawn right here on this road, and you can just get perma-stuck. Once again, because we're going to be chasing him, we're going to have the suspicion meter, so we're going to have to obviously make sure that he doesn't ram things. There can be traffic on the right-hand side here that he will also ram into and cause it to go up. Thankfully, nice smooth drive-through. So it should be very good. Should be very by the numbers. So as long as we don't go over the yellow line, we should be fine just to sit here. So Hotshot's going to pick up his friend. This friend is the one that is blocking our future missions. It is the guy from the intro. It is Naz. So just gonna let them go. And then we've got a little bit of optimization for the end of this mission.
Hey, you know this guy way shit? He's supposed to be sent on ye. Every time I turn around, that guy shows up. And usually the cops aren't far behind. Started racing the
He
other
knows.
day. You think he's a rat? Or on the cover. They had a problem with that a little while back.
As long as I get past here, it should be fine. As long as my suspicion level doesn't go up to like 3/4, it should be fine. See how they like bumped cars very slightly and my suspicion level's gone like way up? Wasn't even my fault. But thankfully you have enough time for it to drop down here. So what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead to the end of the road. I'm going to go to the left and take a cheeky shortcut. We need to be a bit careful. We need to be within 80 meters, otherwise it's a game over. So we'll be keeping an eye on where they are and relatively close to the wall here. Then as soon as he turns this corner, we're going to go this way. And we're now very ahead of Hotshot. Careful not to go too far. And because of that, now we're good. Now we can just drive off. So by doing that, we save ourselves like about 10 seconds in optimization and being able to just drive away here.
He's talking like he's not gonna let Ace make it to the finish line alive.
Do you know where it went?
Not yet. Hey, one other thing. Hotshot and his friend Nas suspect I'm a cop.
Nas Singh, the drug smuggler?
You know him?
Yeah, I know him. He's an informant for HKPD.
Yep.
He's the one that
That's Naz's deal, and that's why we need Naz to be available in the main missions.
Both sides of the game.
You want me to
Seeing him one more time later on.
I agreed to help you, Inspector, but not if it gets me killed. Do everything you can to keep my cover intact. I'll deal with Nas myself.
All right.
So with this should be...
Let me know if you find out anything about that race.
So if this is Uncle Poe, which I'm pretty confident it is, we will need to reload and do our first of our 3 sleeps that we have to do in the run. I fear this garage every time it opens its doors. Okay. Yes, it is. Okay, good. So again, we're gonna wait for the results screen to go away. Just gonna reload the autosave rules here. So our cop experience doesn't matter for our upgrades anymore. It's the triad experience that matters. So we reload. We're in our apartment. We just look to the right. We go to sleep. You'll see the cutscene will start immediately.
This guy wants in. He's gonna have to show me some blood on his hands. Show your true colors tonight, brother.
You are an officer of the law.
Okay. So we basically screwed up, and one of the higher ups in obviously this on Yi, Uncle Pope, he basically runs the group. He wants to see us because of obviously us going after Siwa. So us and Winston are going to have to go over there and try and appease Uncle Poe. In this bit, the cop is going to stay on the map, so we're going to go and get our bike. This is fine because it's actually going to load in a cutscene here anyway. This cutscene drags us out to the middle of the street. These cars you can go and like hijack, bring them back. We're not going to do that, obviously, as part of the speedrun. It's very important in this bit not to hit anyone again because there is a cop that spawned around the corner to the left.
Grab them if I see them.
A little bit slowly just in case, and then we are good. Again, the actual vehicle that we have in this bit doesn't matter because we are going to get a new vehicle, that one on the right-hand side there, which is Winston's car. So we're going to drive via the highway. It's the quickest way to get there is through this alleyway here. Makes it into a nice straight little drive. So again, you'll see like the GPS is telling me to go to the right, but if you just go straight forward, it's just much, much faster.
Just what saves us. I'm gonna bump Uncle Poe's car. Hoping that does it.
And this is going to take us to the second part of Hong Kong. So technically the second island, unlike GTA or some of the other GTAs, the later islands are not locked at the start, but we have no reason to go over there to begin with.
You can't back down from that asshole.
You and him got history, huh? Well, me too.
It's going to be this bit isn't too bad in terms of getting there on time because we have to wait for the entirety of this dialogue to finish, and we're going to get there way before this dialogue finishes.
Family has to stick together. Duke, Conroy, they're good guys, but they're not gonna be leaders. I know Conroy gives you shit, but you've proven yourself now, and he'll see it. Even if he doesn't want to admit it.
Careful, obviously behind us. Again, we don't have to rush here. This is Uncle Poe, so this will be Patsy Wing's skip. So this is a little bit of a finicky skip coming up. But if I can do it correctly, it's going to save 2.5 minutes.
But it means something to me, and it should to you too. Not just that we're son on ye. True.
So yeah, you can see that Winston's now like obviously starting to become more enamored with us.
We look after the people.
And one of the interesting things about this game is the way is starting to get way more integrated into obviously the Wall Street Boys.
T.Y. told me he really works for Big Smiley, not Dog Eyes. I keep hearing his name.
The final boss.
Back in Dog Eyes, sure. That's where he gets the balls to come after me. Well, he has a lot of power. Along with drugs, he's in the prostitution.
This guy on the front door, he's called Ricky. We'll be doing work for him in about an hour's time. He's actually going to give us a really fast car here, which is really nice. We're going to get to see another character called Johnny, which Johnny can just ruin speedruns.
We can't just walk in there, not if it's as bad as you say.
We had a lot of choice.
Very careful with this skip,
Wade's
considering.
done, Wade. Besides, you can't hide from Uncle Poe. You want you dead, you're dead. And I'd rather see it coming, you know? We should be okay. But if I get my ass shot, do not do anything stupid. You hear me?
We're going to do something stupid.
Okay.
We do a lot of stupid things, actually.
Fuck off, John.
Okay, so as Uncle Poe, we're going to be doing work for him, and then we're going to be using him for a skip later on, actually. Like, physically. Uncle Poe's great. He can levitate. He defies the laws of gravity. So what we're going to do is going to get this car right here. This is a very fast car. Pretty much every car that you get in Central is really fast and really good. Bar like one. So we're just going to go over to see, I believe his name is Roland. He's going to give us a gun.
Yeah, you alright?
Gun's going to be used for our speed tech coming up. Ideally, we obviously like cut corners and stuff. Winston's going to hint that he needs to get ready for his wedding. That's going to be important coming up. So it's going to kick us out of that car here, so I'm trying to line up that I can just get back straight in and then go and hit Roland. You can hit Roland, try not to because you can game over. So if we just get to the corner and hit the side of the bench, it's fine.
Hey, well,
So this machine pistol, we're going to try and use this to confuse the game. So we got to go after Patsy Wing. It's going to be a very long scripted 2-minute chase sequence unless we deal with Patsy Wing beforehand. So this is a bit tricky, so I'm going to have to concentrate a little bit on this. But what we're going to do is we're going to line up, and I need to be very careful with the car if I do this correctly, because the car can actually hard lock us and get us stuck for several minutes if we're not careful. So what I'm going to do is drive on this side to about here. Let you ram into me, that's fine. I'm going to be about the halfway point, aim at the ground, and hopefully hit the tire once. Beautiful. With that, we drive into the marker, and then it is vitally important that we are mashing the get out of the car button. If you do not get out of the car, the game gets confused, and the game is going to lock you in the car, remove any inputs that you can do, and then won't let you get out until the car explodes. But by getting out of the car, you can now drive. So by shooting the wheel of Patsy Wing's car, she just stops here. Instead of going on that very long 2-minute scripted like chase sequence, it's done. So the downside to this is now the tire has been shot and it's very hard to drive. So we'll be doing a lot of like power sliding and obviously like ramming to get around corners.
I don't care if you're sorry.
So you can see that even turning right is not something this car wants to do anymore. Thankfully, it's not too long to get to Roland. If you do the entire chase sequence, it's about 1 kilometer out. Gonna, again, avoid everything that we can. And the nice thing is, if you can get to the end marker point of this before the dialogue is done, you can just end the mission. Jackie's picture appears on the right for some reason there. You can actually miss this marker going into the garage. You have to be actually genuinely be a little careful. And with this, we're going to get a new hideout here on Central. So we've got to go and meet Raymond real quick. That's going to make us go to sleep. Now I need to remember what mission is next, because I don't. Okay, you think the guy who's got third place on the leaderboard would know what he's doing. First mission out of here. Green? Yeah, green. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to get a phone call here from Tran. This is kind of definitive where he says, like, you know, hey, we can sell you a car. But Definitive Edition actually gives you a really fast car. So we're not actually going to do this. So taxis in this area are green instead of orange. I can see one like directly ahead of me over there. There's one right there if I can get to that. Oh, you're turning this way? That's fantastic. So, thank you, Inspector Tang. I don't know how I managed to get that right there. So, bride to be. So, bride to be we're going to deal with basically Winston's bride, Peggy. I needed to try and, because I delayed the text there by getting into the taxi and the actual screen it came up, I needed to try and phone Inspector Tang when I got out of the taxi to not get any slowdown. I forgot about that, unfortunately. So, left-hand side, Peggy's mood. Don't ram anything. If you ram something at like mostly max speed, Peggy's mood will go down by about a third. So this bit's kind of scary. You can very, very easily game over. We're going to make sure that we don't. We're going to go down this alleyway right here because, again, this is just straight path, straight to the highway.
If you say so.
Once we get to the highway, this is a nice straight shot. That's... Yep. Once we get to the highway, everything is fine. Peggy's mood does return after a little while, which is really good.
She's a handful, but, you know, her...
Again, you can skip a bit of a dialogue by ramming into other vehicles here, but it doesn't matter. Like, we just need to get to the point. Dialogue doesn't matter.
That's worse than her bark for sure. No, she used to scare me, but then one day, I was having a problem with Winston.
It's quite far away, but again, it is literally just off the highway, so it's just really nice and fast. But Peggy's car is relatively fast. It handles pretty well. There's going to be a little bit of optimization to this mission as well. It's kind of hard to pull off. All very movement-based.
Well, you're lucky. My mother never liked my girlfriends.
I guess it's hard for the moms.
Well, I mean, you know, I used to have a thing for blondes too, and that drove her crazy. Bad enough if I went out with a Chinese-American girl, but a whitey?
Well, it's good to know she was
Turn in here. Be a bit careful not to ram anything as we go in, because there are a couple of things that we can. And hit straight into the marker. So essentially, storyline-wise, we get Peggy's wedding dress. She wants a certain type of flower that she can't get here, and there's also the wedding cake that we have to deal with. And for some reason or another, the wedding cake's about to get stolen, so we have to deal with that.
I'm just gonna change back.
So the nice thing about this part of the mission is Peggy's mood is completely gone, because they kind of realize, you know, you're about to go and ram a whole bunch of things.
Winston's in charge of that. He knows I'm very particular about cakes, but...
So when we go through this bit next, we'll actually be going through that corner to the right. There's a corner there that we can just go up and just kind of shortcut our way through. Like, in fast cars, it's really, really good. Which it would be good in this car, but we obviously just want to keep going this way anyway, so there's no point. So there's text from Winston about the cake being stolen. You have like 3.5 minutes to get to the van, which you should already be like almost all the way there anyway.
Oh, were you being a bad little boy?
Bit of backstory on Way as well.
My sister, growing up in old prosperity, she started down a particular road and
Get around this corner. Whoops. You'll see the pink van there. That is the cake. So for this bit, we need to do good movement. We're going to try and basically power slide around a couple of turns to be as close to this van as possible, because at the end of this conversation, when we gain the ability to like action hijack, we need to be like very next to it because it starts to rubber band away. That's okay. Not.
if you don't catch that van, you won't have your special cake at your wedding.
What? Go back.
He's not pulling over.
You're a gangster. Do something. Get out there and...
Yeah, it's going to rubber band. Yep. A little bit of shame. If I can get a good line up here, at least I should be able to get it just before the point where we have to deliver it. now we're going to be at the whim of whether Wei Shen wants to go the correct way or not, because sometimes he goes backwards. I don't know why. The point where we have to deliver the cake is right next to us right now. You gain a little bit of control as soon as you like get into the like actual passenger seat, so just turn around and just go into this bit. You remember this from the COI mission? The exact same garage. Not too bad. I'll take that.
Tell Winston I got the kid.
Wow, that's great. I'll take it right to him.
So again, she really wants that orchid for her wedding, so we're gonna go get that orchid.
All done.
Thank you, Wei. Thank you. You know, careful.
Shortcut through this little alleyway here.
Just won't be perfect without that orchid.
We're going to the temple, aren't we?
I knew you.
Yep, the Temple with the Monks is the only place where the orchid is, apparently. So we're just gonna, you know, go steal it from the monks. I'm sure they'll be okay with it.
Not anymore.
Well, you're wrong, Wei. You have family. You have us.
Thanks.
No, I mean it. I know Winston's work can be rough, but it makes us a family, too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Man needs brothers, uncles, and sisters, too.
To help me with that soft side.
Don't laugh. It's very important. You know, I could probably set you up if you want. You're a good-looking man.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're supposed to be in a stealth section as soon as we get to the temple, but it's actually not too bad.
Wei!
If you know like the direction to go, it's actually really simple. You can avoid like most of the QTs. So go in here, we get disguise, which is the monk's robes. This is the mission that's going to change our outfit for pretty much the rest of the run, apart from one coming up kind of shortly. So climb up this bit. You have to go a bit more to the left to be able to grab onto that wall. There is a monk there that will stop you on the left-hand side, so we're just going to go this way and avoid him. Go over the flower pot. There we go. Going to head all the way up here. It's a bit of a backwards area, but it avoids, like, again, like all the monks that would stop you otherwise. And somehow, despite taking all of these back routes here, we are going to get seen by one of the monks as soon as we grab the orchid. That guy right there. Hopefully he doesn't hit me immediately. He can do. He can be quite aggressive at points, but this time he wasn't. And then we just go back to Peggy. So this last little bit of the mission is going to be a little bit RNG. There's going to be a false cop section. We're going to have to deal with that. The cops can actually get themselves stuck, which is really good if they do. If not, we'll obviously just have to deal with them. But Peggy's car is pretty fast. If we get lucky, we can just get past them. So hopefully they'll get stuck. But again, we have ways of dealing with them if obviously they don't. Did park the car in a slightly awkward angle to begin with. That should be fine. Just handbrake to the left as soon as we gain control.
Oh, Wei, thank you so much.
How can I say no? Peggy, do you have any Winston's clothes in the back? I don't think these robes gonna make the right impression.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to spin. And the nice thing about being here for a while is the cop's going to spawn behind us. And ideally, they'll get stuck on the entrance to the alleyway. If they don't, it's fine. We'll just carry on and we'll just deal with them. But if they do, it's really, really good for us. We know where to go to basically like finish this mission anyway. You can see that we're like slightly gaining like speed ahead of them here. So if we can kind of get past this corner, we might get kind of lucky. My traffic's pretty good here, so that's good. Yeah, that's perfect.
Go, go. Thank you, Wei.
And the endpoint is just around here. We would have to take this line through anyway, even if we had to deal with the cops. Like, if I got to this bit and I saw the cops on me, I'd deal with them before going around this corner. What I'm going to do, intentionally, is bounce off that van to interrupt Peggy so she doesn't delay the end of the mission. That's the end of the mission. I'm going to steal Peggy's car. She just leaves it here. It's fine. So this is going to be race number 2 with the second race skip. I didn't mean to physically kick the car away. That's fine. We don't need this car anyway. We do want to be careful not to ram into anything here. The police station is directly ahead of us as we leave, so we do not want to get a wanted level right now. That would be very bad. That blue marker right there is our next race mission. This was one of the hardest like skips to learn for me when I first started doing this run, but actually it's simple when you know what to look for. That barricade behind us, we're going to jump it and get through the entirety of this. So what we need to do is a very precise lineup, which actually, if you look at the top of the car, see those racing stripes? They're an absolutely perfect indicator. So what I'm going to do is line up this fire hydrant, hit it, and then go over. Unfortunately, I was a bit too far to the left, so I didn't hit it properly. Might take me 1 or 2 attempts here. But essentially what we're trying to do is hit the inside of our right-hand wheel, and that gets us the momentum with the water coming out the fire hydrant to push us up. I was holding right. That's my fault. That was the right angle that I was holding right. Yeah, definitely my fault. This is a little bit of a tricky one at first, but once you've done it a couple of times, it becomes a lot easier after that. But you'll notice the reason why I'm going from this angle as well is for after we get over the barricade. If you go from the left-hand side, you can ram into the right-hand side and then not get enough of an angle to be able to... That didn't work. That's interesting. You can get enough of an angle that you will get stuck into the actual shop on the right-hand side. Listen, every race skip in this run is really hard to do. But you need to get like this far ahead so you get like enough momentum built up so that you can actually do it. Really? Okay, I'll give it one more and then I'll go for the actual race itself. Haven't done this race in a long time. Very hard skip to do. No, okay. We'll do the race. That's a shame. Yeah, that's usually not one that takes too many tries, but I'm just obviously not getting the angle right today. It's such a shame because it skips the entirety of this race. It's such a good skip. So cool as well to see. Yeah, also one of the other things you can see about this race is that in certain races, there are going to be like traffic that actually spawns on the map. So this is something that like actually works in your favor after this race because you can actually like get a taxi relatively fast at the end of this one because there should be one that like spawns in relatively close to you. Okay. Know why they're all stopping here either. Should be able to get quite far away ahead of them. Yeah, no, that's a shame. Like you can just skip the entirety of this race with that one. That's like the most impressive skip in the run. But the third race later on, there will be another skip. That one's a little bit easier to pull off. I'd say it's probably like the easiest one of all three of them. Yeah, right here. I was kind of hoping to see a taxi on my way through. There isn't one. That's fine. Okay, so the weird thing is you have to hit the brake button there very briefly to make sure that you actually can go full speed. No, I cannot. There's no taxi behind me, so I'm going to start going towards the mission marker. This is another one of those really annoying parts to try and find a taxi. And with this, we are going to go on to the wedding. We do need a taxi because we have to go halfway across the map. If you're wondering why I'm standing this far back, it's because I've like hijacked the taxis in the past. I really don't want to. There is a cop ahead of me. That's bad. I'm going to have to wait a second because I need to not get a wanted level here. So I need you to go away for a second. Out of its range first and then take the taxi. Yeah, actually stop. Okay, we're going to let the taxi move forward a little bit. Come on, bud. There we go. Be very careful here. So this is to skip a little bit of the dialogue at the start of this mission. We're going to drive, I was a bit ahead of myself there, but we're going to drive into the mission marker here. And then we're going to drive all the way up to Spirit Zone. The cops shouldn't be a problem now. So as we pick up our tux, we want to be mashing to get into the car. I landed on the door. That's impressive. Because when you get this phone call, you can't move with Jackie. I would have had to have lined myself up with a wall after this anyway, because you will get, like, because of the forced stop there, you get forced into, like, wherever you're aiming in terms of driving. And the game won't let you, like, take control of the car until you get out of the car and back in again. But this is going to be Winston's wedding. I'm fairly certain the game, like Sleeping Dogs, nothing bad can... Don't worry about that guy. Nothing bad can go wrong at a wedding. That's for sure. Fortunately, things are going wrong at the wedding.
Jackie, you there? Holy shit, did you see that?
saw that lady just get hit by that car, yeah. So basically, the 18K are assaulting Winston's wedding. We need to go in there. I'm going to be very careful and get the tire iron here. Sometimes when you get the tire iron, it teleports you to the hijacking the limo. It's very weird, but if you just stop there, then it makes sure you get the tire iron. We're going to go up the top on the side here to get into the side. And we have a fair amount of fight optimization for the actual wedding itself. So what's going to happen is I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way because that's the way I'm used to. Drop the tire on. We're going to ideally hit every enemy twice. So punch you twice and then throw you specifically over the railing. That takes care of you. Oops. I hit him once. So I think I could have just hit him one more time, but that's fine. I'm just going to make sure that I take him out. So again, punch him twice, throw over the railing. That didn't do enough. That's impressive, actually. Just stop him on the ground. That'll take care of him. Twice and then over. You don't want to take the middle part because you will actually use that chandelier as a weapon. Grab our tire iron and then we're going to jump down to the bottom where we have 3 enemies that are relatively close together. What you can do is use that little like bit to the left-hand side there. And that little bit to the left-hand side, you can do like the insta-kill. You can do the insta-kill like jump over. And it all depends on like if the enemy actually get close to you. Oh, you're a grappler, aren't you? Yeah, have to do this. Old-fashioned way. So grab the cleaver that guy had. Okay, thank you. Bust that way into this door, throw the cleaver immediately. Takes care of this guy, grab the pistol, and then take care of all the enemies. They really shot me a lot there. That's really bad. So I'm going to take the slow motion. If I'm like actually dying, I will take the slow motion. You don't want to take the slow motion if you can help it, but because obviously like I've been hit so many times, I have to. You do have to react a couple of times, just being shot really fast. Take care of those two. You can grab the submachine gun from one of those enemies, but I like the pistol for this bit because it's a little bit more accurate. So in the main hall, we're going to have to take care of a couple of enemies. We're going to start by taking care of a couple of enemies on the top floor because otherwise they're going to be a pain in a bit. So you into you. Got my aim so I can get the slow-mo back. You're actually going all the way. That's great. Or not. I think these shooting actually stops him. You. Okay, that's not great. Gotta be careful being shot here. I'm actually going to take the submachine gun. I'm going to jump down this side because there's a couple of enemies behind us that we need to take care of, including this guy. This guy over here. Okay, nice. Then the rest of the enemies here. I'm going to take the slow motion so I can take care of you and you. Then deal with you. Right here. Okay, so now we're going to do Uncle Po skin. So in all of this, Uncle Po has been shot. He's been pretty injured. So we're going to use the old man to defy gravity.
Uncle Po!
So as we're walking forward, what we can do is we can make a very sharp right turn onto this flower pot, at which point, ideally, I've messed up a little bit, so I have to do a different angle. Ideally, I have to go up a bit. So you can see I'm a little bit stuck on this at the minute because Uncle Po has just defied gravity and made me walk over the edge. So we're going to give the old man a little bit of pneumonia by walking him through some water. It looks like you can go through that little bit to the left. You can't. Your hitbox is a bit too big, so instead we go up here and then go to the left. You'll see on the mini-map there's a couple of enemies that will spawn in on the left. This avoids them completely. Stops Uncle Po getting shot. Stops me getting shot. Because my HP is a little low at this bit, I'm going to take the kill on this first guy with the explosive barrels. Make sure I don't get shot too many times. I'm going to take care of this guy because I really don't want to die here. That's how you skip through this bit of Uncle Po. Please stop shooting Uncle Po. Appreciate it. That is the wedding. A little bit rougher than I would have liked. Still decent. So this basically marks essentially the halfway point of the game. This should get me to Triad Experience 2. I might be a little low. Nope, just got there. If you get there, what we'll do is we'll go into our Triad upgrades, get strike damage bonus, which is extra damage to our melee attacks, and more importantly, Surprise Exchange. Surprise Exchange is a very overpowered skill. Surprise Exchange is going to allow us to one-shot pretty much every single enemy in the game, apart from bosses. It is very, very good.
Anything happens to me, you look after that people, okay?
Okay, so after the wedding, we are going to do the last of the blue missions, the last of the cop missions. This is a quite long mission. Pretty much most missions at this point get quite long, apart from like 1 or 2. So we're going to be doing a little bit of setup during the mission as well. Oh, also, you have your gun immediately, like, automatically going out that cutscene. Make sure you put it away, otherwise you can't actually, like, get past people without being hounded by them, or talk to that guy for your actual car if you need it, if the cop is spawned in, which he hasn't. So again, the usual, we're just going to go after a taxi. Perfect. Speak to you. I got lucky that I didn't actually get that cop on me there, and we're going to go up to this mission. So as soon as the taxi drives into the marker, which sometimes he takes his time to do that, we're going to immediately get back into the taxi and steal it.
Where is this guy?
So this is going to be your introduction to trace missions. So you'll see on the right-hand side, after Hotshot tries to do something bad, you'll see that there is a trace marker. You're supposed to get into the middle, trace it, find out where you need to go. But if you know where to go for most of the trace missions, you can go straight there, with the exception of one later on that we're going to use to massively confuse the game. So we know the quickest way to get to where we need to go, which is the highway. So you need to be a bit careful here for the next few missions, because of obviously the wedding going bad. There's just going to be a giant contingency of cops right there. You can see it on the minimap. As long as we don't ram into them, we're fine. But we just need to be just a little bit careful. I also need to be a bit careful in this bit because I'm in a marathon. I will just take this a little bit more gently than I would if I was going for PBs. So when we go onto the highway, you'll see on the right-hand side there is a segment of the railing that is missing. I'm going to just jump straight off of it, but I'm going to take it thanks to this guy, I'm going to take it a little bit slower. I was going to take it a little bit slower than usual anyway. There is a checkpoint right there. You want to make sure you hit that checkpoint. My angle, because that limo was actually off a little bit. So what would have happened is I would have driven into the water. I wouldn't have hit the checkpoint. And then when I went to like try and restart from checkpoint, it would have restarted the entire mission again. So me going a bit slower there was actually the correct thing to do. So Hotshot's dialogue earlier was actually foreshadowing that he was actually going to murder Ace. It's funny because you also need to jump off this exact same bit in the, I want to say it's the Year of the Snake DLC, but the actual railing is not broken in that, so we actually have to jump off of that bit there. A little bit more involved, but still pretty good when you know what to do. Again, you don't need good photos, you just need correct photos, so we'll be getting our phone out. We aim towards it. So this bit you have to be a little bit careful. There is a game over trigger right at the top of this that you just need to not walk into, so I'll be calling Teng from here. And then just slowly walking forward. So what we need to do is we need to race Hotshot and then catch him in the middle of the act. So we need a really fast car, and the nice thing is this bit right here always spawns a very fast car. That is what's called a fastback right in front of us. It is one of the fastest cars we can get. We'll be waiting about here so I don't get game over. You can get a bit closer, but I'm just going to make sure. And obviously Slim Jim allows us to steal this car a lot faster. Bring our phone up. Come up automatically in a second because of that. Send the text, and then we need to go to Victoria's Peak. The quickest way is this way. So, this is a pretty involved mission. There's a very big bit of speed tech that is very easy to mess up. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be racing Hotshot down the hill, but we need to make it so that we don't disable Hotshot's car too early. If we do, either one, you'll get a game over if you actually break it fully, or two, if you break it to the point of just for being broken, he'll start driving down the hill at literally 5 miles an hour, which obviously we can't hit him to make him go faster because then that'll fully disable the car and get us a game over. So what we want to do is ram him at the precise points during this downhill race. So ideally, you can actually get one extra hit off at the start here. It's a little bit dangerous because if you hit Hotshot, you can actually game over. I'll be trying to do a little bit of a ram here. That's fine. I didn't get it, so that's actually good. So I know in my head now I've got at least one good ram, if not 2 decent ones. He'll cheat. He'll just drive away. That's fine. And we'll just catch up to him behind. Good morning. So he's going to take the first shortcut. That's fine. We're going to take the second shortcut as well. He won't. That's where we're going to hit him. Very rarely, he can actually get himself stuck on the first shortcut, which is a free hit, which is good. But then you have to wait for him to like fix his vehicle and then like go the correct direction. So ideally, we don't want him to break on this first one, but we want to like be in a good position to hit him on the second one. So we do have to drive correctly. There's a little bit of rubber banding to this, just a tiny bit. Driving super great at the minute. Again, first shortcut is fine. Enough room to be able to catch up. He didn't get stuck, which is nice. I just need a little bit of better driving, which I'm not doing at the minute. Really not doing at the minute. If I miss him on the second one, it's fine. We can catch him on the third. If I miss him on the third, I can catch him on the fourth. See where this is going. I'm not going to catch him here. It's fine. Ooh, that's a good hit. Might be able to ram from behind, which would be a very good hit. That'd be my one. Shortcuts here. So we also want to be a certain distance away from him when we get to the end of this. If we get lucky, the game will spawn an NPC in front of him. We're at good timing here. Brake a little bit. Oh, I just missed. All right, it's going to make this a little bit trickier. A bit more to the left. So take again the third shortcut. You can see he actually slowed down a little bit. So I'm going to ram him there, and then I'm not going to touch him again. That wasn't a good ram, but with that angle, you can actually make it so that he's rammed pretty badly. He's not smoking at the minute, so he's not quite at one hit. But I'm just going to make this a little bit safer. No NPC spawned in, but at this point, I can just ram him from behind. We want to be very careful. Good hit there, although not anymore. We want to be careful and make sure we don't get too far away from hot shot. Your mind. Your mind. This isn't helping. Excuse me. Excuse me, please, boys. Good. Say the line. Wait next to him. He didn't actually say the line. Okay. So you want to make sure he says one line in particular, and then that's the end of you being able to, like, stay next to him. If you're not next to him, he won't say it. The cop respawned behind me, so I'll have to take care of them. In this bit, I am also keeping an eye out for taxis, because I would like to obviously end this bit next to a taxi. Just hit him from the side and that'll do it. So I'm going to be a bit careful not to get into the radius of that cop, and then we're going to go backwards and get a taxi. Be careful not to hit anything here. Oh, absolutely.
It's possible to say how many lives you've saved, but you really did a job on this one, Officer Shen.
Okay, so this should now be Mrs. Chu's Revenge. So this is on the other side of the map. So we're going over to the restaurant. And then we're going to start the next mission. So again, the nice thing is, we've already done to get into another car. Our registered car right now is the fast car that we just used. Now we got to deal with Johnny, and my shooting hasn't been great today, so I'm a little concerned about this. So again, we're going to get outside. This is another mission where you're supposed to do the trace. But again, if you know where to go, don't have to. So you're supposed to call Ricky to get the trace activated, but it's going to start automatically here anyway, because we got too far away to where we're supposed to go. Again, we know the exact place where we need to go, which is this direction, down towards the docks. We want to take the fourth exit, which is oncoming traffic. Be a bit careful when going this way. Johnny the rat face is right over here. You can hit him in this cutscene, but unfortunately it doesn't end the mission. There's a couple of really cool little things we do in this one and a couple of scary bits to this mission. What we're supposed to do is we're supposed to chase down Johnny, but we're going to skip that. Ideally skip that. It's a little finicky. We're going to avoid literally every enemy as we go forward. And depending on whether I get shot here or not will depend if I just go straight forward or if I take a little bit of a right turn here. Should be fine. And we got shot once. As soon as we hit the warehouse here, we get checkpoint. By restarting from checkpoint, we get our health back, and we just randomly get this machine gun, which is necessary for the next bit. Go to the right here to not get shot too many times. I'm keeping a very close eye on my health because this is very scary. I'm probably going to die here. Just before the cutscene. Shame. Yeah, this is the problem with this bit. It's very random. You can get shot a lot, and if you do get shot there, there's nothing you can do. I was right before the checkpoint, unfortunately. And so I'm hugging this wall is because there is an enemy above us here sometimes that will, like, really pepper you with shots. This is good this time. Right there, see? As soon as we get the checkpoint, I'm going to shoot the front tire of his car. and then ideally catch up to him. It delays him just long enough. That's actually not ideal. But what I can do is, if I get a good angle for this, you are going to push me along, aren't you? Yeah, we're going to restart. If you can get him quick enough there, you can actually just get him out of the car, but it's like really tight in terms of what to do. I'm not sure if that's going to work. It should do. Again, Johnny, what is going on today, bud? You don't want to shoot Johnny because you have to take the... Johnny, what are you doing? Now, the downside to this... Can I actually get out of here without hitting Johnny? Yes, I can. The downside to this is that I kind of need to put Johnny in the trunk. So I need to go over here and grab him and then get him in the car. That's the one downside to him hitting the right-hand side here, is that it just takes a little bit longer. If it's done correctly, he keeps going down the road, that he's delayed long enough that you can just hijack the car with the action hijack. But again, this is a good backup. This is good to have like the knowledge for in case you need to do this. That's the, if you remember me saying earlier that Johnny can just ruin your speedrun, that's why. Johnny is a big giant pain in the backside. If he just gets away with you, or if he just doesn't have his AI act the way it's supposed to act, things can just go very wrong. Essentially, that stops you having to, please do not get me stuck in that tree. Most of the time, you just ram through that fence. Sometimes you get rammed into the tree, which that's a checkpoint restart if that happens. At this point, we're just taking Johnny back to Mr. Chu's restaurant. Over to the alleyway, so it's a straight shot, and then I think there's actually a better road I can take for this mission that I keep forgetting about, but this one is for the alleyway. And then we grab Johnny. There we go. Cool. Okay, so at this point, we don't need to do any more blue missions. It's all green missions until the end. This leads us directly to the next mission, which is at Club Bam Bam, which, if you remember from earlier, is straight down this alleyway. The on-rail skips mission? I think it is. I remember. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we're going to have them assault the club. You don't actually have to take care of this first guy. You do have to take care of these two, which, again, is not great. Because of that, I'm going to take the slow motion shots here because I don't want to die to these guys on landing. I'm going to die to these guys on landing. Yep, just had one shot. I got hit by the guy up top like too many times. This is the problem with like sleeping dogs, is that you can die very quickly, very easily. That's not good. Yeah, I'm taking too many hits again. It's a bit better if I can shoot you before you shoot me. And that guy. Cool. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the slow motion. I'm going to use the pillar to the right, so I've got a little bit of defense to my left. About Jackie going, ah. He does that a lot. How are you alive? Okay, with everyone dead, we can just go outside. Deal with a couple of enemies here. Ideally, the guys on the left or the guys on the left spawn in. You. Ideally, them before they stop. Perfect. And then last enemy is going to spawn in the car this way. Be careful, because when you shoot the actual driver, they will lock onto you and try and ram you. So this is supposed to be a very long on-rail section. What I'm going to do is get out of my car and tell Jackie to move over. It's no longer an on-rail section. It's that simple. You just get out of the car and just tell Jackie to move over and we start driving. It's not over in terms of the danger of this mission because, as you can see, like, the enemies that are supposed to spawn in to stop you have still spawned in. So I might have to react to this bit in a bit just to take care of them so I don't die. The marker over there is the person we're supposed to be chasing. As you'll see, we're not going to do that. Because we're in control of the car, we can go directly to the end of the mission marker, which is not currently on the map. But if these guys start shooting the car too much, we will have to deal with them. They're actually quite far behind. They're going to respawn a little bit, but this is good so far. I hope that wasn't continual hits, because if that was, that's going to be pretty bad. They will start de-aggroing once we get to the turn off up ahead. We should be fine. Oh, it's a little tight. Yeah, we're fine now. If I don't hit them too many times and blow up the car. As soon as we get here, we're fine. We get teleported to another part of town where we're chasing our next boss, Ponytail. So for Ponytail, there's a very easy way to do this fight. Nice, no NPC spawns. Usually you have a bunch of NPC spawns here, but no NPC spawns is really good because they won't push you out of the way. So instead of going straight after Ponytail, what we're going to do is go to this car and get the tire iron from inside of it. And then we're just going to carry on chasing Ponytail afterwards. You have enough time to grab that tire iron. You have enough time to mess your movement up a little bit. So the game wants us to go to a very scripted arena. So unfortunately, even if we get close to like Ponytail, we can't actually stop him in this bit. So in order not to waste any of our hits on our weapon, we're just going to carry on as per normal. Him jumping through the window is really loud for some reason. I don't know why. And this is the arena right here. So if you had a little bit more time, you can see that he'll stop over here. Cutscene's going to play. Now, because I have the tire iron, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 heavy attacks. He's going to block one of them. So that one. Throw the tire iron, hopefully hit him, and then full combo. He's busy.
Tell your boss, say, damn it.
Okay, so Cop's going to spawn in. We just need to run to the right, and that's the end of the mission. But yeah, as long as, like, again, throwing weapons in this game, it cannot be, like, understated how good throwing weapons is in this game. Like, the reason why you do 2 strong attacks there is to make sure that one of them connects, and then the throwing, like, the weapon just is really fast. Excuse you? Love pedestrians in this game. So, Miss Jiang is one of, like, the big higher-ups in the Sun On Yi. Introduction to them. This can actually break sometimes, and the actual limo won't go anywhere. It's quite funny. This guy is Old Salty. Old Salty's great. We'll be seeing him real soon. We check for a taxi really quick. If there isn't one, we'll be getting our car. So after the race against, or after the previous bit with Hotshot, we're now able to get this car. This is the fast car we were talking about. This one's not available in OG, but it is definitive. It is very, very good. It's the best car we'll be able to get. Just looking around to see if there's a taxi, which unfortunately, I don't think we've gotten that lucky. Yes, we have. Headlights on this guy just didn't spawn in. So this mission is on the other side of the map, which is why, again, we want a taxi. And this mission is the reason why we've been doing those blue missions as well.
Hey, man.
Wait, you won't.
So we get given this bike, which is pretty nice. You want to be careful here. You can jump off that side to the right and go in the water. I've done that a couple of times. We're going to head over to the dockside, and then we are going to meet up with good old Naz. This is going to be another one of those bits where, again, driving here for some reason is like delayed as soon as you start speaking to this guy. So we have to hit reverse and then forward to be able to drive at max speed again. It's one of those weird little things that the game just does. Like, I don't get the understanding behind it. You just have to do it. So you just have to go around this corner, and then we'll get our cutscene on the last one. The nice thing for this is there's 2 ways you can go. If you get shot a couple of times like I did there, I'm going to go this way to be a little bit more safe. There's another set of enemies that are to the right there that will shoot you if you go that way, but if you just go this way, you can go, like, past them. Be a bit careful, the explosive barrels on the right, because they can get shot here by that guy. And then just shoot the explosive canister. Beautiful. Okay, because I'm doing this for a marathon, I'm going to take this bit extra safe. You can avoid the first 2 enemies here. They are going to shoot me a lot. But I'm just going to take care of them just to be safe. This is one of those missions that I actually fear for breaking in several ways. Death can happen very, very fast here. So we'll take care of you. The machine pistol is very good. It's just very inaccurate. You shoot that car on the way through, so it breaks. I'm just going to have to go because of this guy getting behind the car. You can see that, again, my HP is not ideal right now, but it should be fine. Ideally, the car doesn't get shot as I'm getting into it here. It usually does. We'll lose a tire. Yeah, we lost the front one. Okay. So it's going to make the car driving here a little bit worse, which is not great because, as you can see, the 18K are very much trying to kill us. So we're going to go this way specifically. It's not that fast, but it will get these guys slightly stuck. What you're supposed to do is take care of them while they're chasing you and then like wait for the dialogue to finish. But the end of the mission marker is actually already active and we don't have to deal with the 18K. So ideally, we're just going to like drive along here. It's obviously very hard with the tires shot out. I'm going to take this next left turn. They got delayed sufficiently enough. This guy, though. Great. As you can see, garage door opens immediately. Cool. Okay, we're good. All right. And that is the end of that. This is where we need to get a taxi. One just went by to the left, unfortunately. Keep an eye out as we go by. If we don't see a taxi, I will be getting my fast car. So yeah, we're getting my fast car. Taxi can't spawn in that time, so we're just having a look. If we can get a taxi, then we'll take the taxi. If not, it's pretty close to get back to the restaurant. There is that taxi we saw earlier. Yeah, we're just far away enough that this is a bit quicker to take. Sir, please. Can take taxis from the front. I don't know why they didn't, like, actually let me do it. But again, the nice thing is because I'm not getting into another vehicle, this will still register the fast car that we picked as our, like, actual up-to-date car, which is what we want for this mission because we're going to be driving quite a long way here. So I guess if you've got any messages to read or you want to talk about the charity now, it'd be a fantastic time.
I would absolutely love to. Yeah, as you all know, we are raising money for War Child. War Child provides aid to numerous countries, including, but not limited to, Afghanistan, Colombia, Palestine, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Uganda, and Ukraine. 100% of your donations will be directly benefiting children and families are affected by conflict, helping War Child to bring education, food, clean water, and first aid to those who need it the most. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you all very, very much for the generosity you've shown so far. We're doing really, really well. We're at like 2,505. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. So we're going to go into this car to grab this tire iron. It's always the bigger the car. The cars can actually be like the other way around. Sometimes you just react to which one is where. So there's actually a skip in this next section that I'm not going to take. And I usually don't take it because depending on your position, you can actually be a little bit further than attempting the skip. So we're going to finally deal with Dog Eyes. I've been talking about Dog Eyes a lot over the course of this game. This is going to be a boat chase where we're not actually going to be chasing him. Like, we're going to be following in his general direction, but we're just going to carry on. So, Dog Eyes takes a bit of a turn to the right, but we can just go straight. If we just go straight, completely fine at that point. This is the direction we just want to go in, and if we take a good enough line, we'll actually get quite far ahead of good old Dog Eyes. Go that direction. You can tell by the sign that's, like, quite far ahead. Because we're going to be going underneath a bridge. So the skip is to actually ram Dog Eyes at a specific point when going along here. That forces the next cutscene to like start up. But the thing is, if you're like quite far away like I am, you can just get to the cutscene almost as quick as you can ramming Dog Eyes. So whilst it's a really cool skip, unfortunately, like we're just going to keep going.
What's going on?
So once we finish with Duke, what you're supposed to do is ram off that wall directly ahead of us into Dog Eyes behind us. But as you can see, if you just go this way, you just get the cutscene. Like, it's just as quick. So I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that skip, unfortunately. As you can see, we still have the tire iron. Like, even though you heard the sound of it dropping in the previous cutscene, we still have it. Use that in the first fight coming up. We're going to try and chain weapons. I'm hoping that one weapon doesn't get despawned here, because it can do. But we've got several fights in a row. Good optimizations of this fights. This big lad in front of us, you cannot use Surprise Exchange against this guy, so instead what I'm going to do is just do that. And he's gone. So this is Surprise Exchange that we learned a couple of missions ago. Ah, that's unfortunate. Way will sometimes, like, aggro onto, like, the enemy that's, like, a little bit, like, further away. Which is unfortunate. So this is Surprise Exchange. Jump over an enemy, grab him from behind, insta-kill. The only downside to that is it doesn't build up the face meter in the bottom right, which is obviously your HP regen. That's the first room. Second room's a bit trickier because we have an enemy with a knife. So we're gonna jump over him, grab him. I'm not sure if that fully works. Sometimes interrupting the animation makes it not work. I'm gonna interrupt this guy by hitting him into the wall and then just doing this to build up my face meter a little bit. Grab the knife. Then we're gonna drop it at the door here so that none of the enemies pick it up, but I can easily grab it like in a second. We should be able to grab all the enemies in this bit with surprising change. That's unfortunate. Wait, was aiming at the other guy? This guy, again, I'm just going to counter and I'm going to throw him into the shark heads here. I build up my face a little bit for the last part of this mission. That's fine. I'm just going to throw him in the water. It's fine using this here as well. I can build it back up in the last room. Ideally, I would have had it so that I could just get the one of the two large enemies coming up, but that's fine. Grab the knife, and then we'll go into the last fight. So basically what we want to do is chain this knife all the way up until good old Dog Eyes. So we sometimes need to do a stun here. I got turned around, so I don't have to. Drop the knife. Now, sometimes an enemy will pick up the knife, so we do have to react to that if it does happen. So we can go after everybody except for Dog Eyes here. So you'll see that I'm just dealing with these guys. There's a couple of the larger enemies that we can't surprise exchange, so I will have to deal with them without my face meter, which is a little unfortunate. I could use the knife and then fight Dog Eyes like normally if I wanted to. These guys will grab us. We can just break out of their grapples. The nice thing is, again, we can just like hit them. If they go onto the floor here, again, like being able to hit them with stomps is really good. Otherwise, I'll just hit them a couple of times to build up my face again. I have to stun this guy. No, I got lucky there. Again, if there's a couple of enemies near, I was that low HP. That sucks. All right, I lost the knife now. Yeah, because this guy's too close. I will have to stun him first. That's unfortunate. We just have to do it the old-fashioned way. I didn't realize I was that low HP. That's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, just surprise exchange all in all enemies. So they're going to do this, at which point we just stomp on them. That's fine. I'm just going to use all of this so that I can deal with the larger enemies a bit quicker. Okay, so now that I'm in my face, I can grab the larger enemies, not have a problem with them. After this guy, because I really need him gone. Yeah. Getting this guy in time. Yeah. Shame. Just ran out at the end. Alright, so we'll just deal with everybody with surprise exchange and then deal with the last large enemy. He'll try and grab you here, I think. Usually does, but should be fine. A little upset about them being together, so I'm doing a normal combo. Together, you are actually attacking me really fast here. That should take care of it. Really? Alright, Dog Eyes time. So the old-fashioned way is I have to counter Dog Eyes. Ideally, he doesn't do the grab. The grab sucks. Stop that. Please try and hit me, Dog Eyes. So as you can see, you can't hit him until he like does an attack. There we go. Then we can just do a full combo against him. See, I'm moving backwards so I don't get grabbed here. Because if I get grabbed here, that will be my death. That should be it. All right, so that was actually really nice having that animation happen there so I could grab him. This is a fun little bit of speed tech that for some reason they actually genuinely thought players might do. So we're supposed to put him in the trunk and be on an on-rails section. I'm just going to go away. This way? No, this way. So we're going to head this way. Cars don't spawn too close to where we are. So the closest place they spawn is actually up here. But with this, we're going to be able to get a car. I stopped moving here because if you're running up those stairs, you throw Dog Eyes and you have to pick him up again. So we're at a little bit of RNG's whim here. I really want a fast car or a taxi to spawn in. Any of those would be good. Ooh, that's nice. We'll take that. Very nice. That didn't count. Okay, cool. Dog Eyes. Dog Eyes in the trunk. Thank you. A little bit of persuasion sometimes is needed. And with this is a relatively fast car, so we can use this and just end the mission this way. But yeah, it stops the on-rail section, so we can just go a more direct route over to here, which is really nice. And again, like, taxis are really nice as well. If you can get taxis, then you can just use those to be able to, like, get to where you need to go. Now, the enemy will spawn in a few seconds here. You'll see it on the minimap. So we do have to be a little bit careful if they get close and, like, have to deal with them. But we should be fine for the most part.
Got time for a donation?
Oh, please do.
Right, we have £10 from Whisper You. Thank you very much. Saying, how is that? How is it that I didn't see any dogs during the run yet? That's false advertising. Good luck on the run. Thank you very much.
It's because they're all sleeping peacefully at home, not getting involved in all of the crime that's going on. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing any actual dogs either in the rest of this. You'll be seeing a lot of people definitely asleep and not dead at the hands of Wei Shen. We'll be killing a lot of people before the next hour of this run is done. But yeah, with this, we just take them down this alleyway, and that's the end of the mission. Nice and simple. I think coming up, if I remember rightly, should be...
What the fuck you doing, huh?
Is it intensive care? I think it's intensive care. So we do still need Trad Experience. Trad Experience is going to be very useful for later on. We want one more upgrade for the end of the run specifically so that we can get one upgrade to make one boss fight much, much faster. The last 3 missions of this run actually have like a lot of very involved speed tech. Like they're actually really, really cool. So again, we need to go and grab ourselves a taxi. If we're fast enough here, we can get on the moped just before we get that first text that we need. Perfect. Not that text. This text. Actually, no, it is that text. Oh, hello. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So again, no more blue missions for the rest of this. It's nice and easy to remember where we need to go. It's all over here. Oh, it's initiation. Okay, this is a short mission. This is the shortest mission left in the run. Downside is we got a very early load here. If you get an early load, you have to wait for the taxi to take all this time to drive up. Sometimes you get a slower load, which just drops you off right on the point. So we need a temporary chairman, but in the background, the taxi drivers decided to leave for the day. This is my taxi now. But because of all the hard work that Wei is doing in the background, us and Jackie are going to get sworn in as brothers. So there's some really interesting tech to this mission. We're going to bring back a piece of speed tech that we utilized a lot earlier on in the run. So what we're going to do is head just all the way over this direction. Go and see Jackie, who's currently getting a massage. It doesn't matter the vehicle that we have here. It's going to get replaced with a different vehicle in a second. That one. It should be Jackie's. Got to manage to get ahead of that bus there. And then as soon as we do this cutscene, the next cutscene trigger is right outside. So you just go outside. You'll see that the taxi is all the way over there that we use. That's why, again, your vehicle doesn't matter. So I'm going to do something after this cutscene that's going to look a little weird, and I'll explain in a bit what we're going to do, or the reason why I do it. So I'm going to wait for the objective to improve. So what we're going to do is restart from checkpoint, and you'll notice that we're actually still in the exact same car that we just were, just a different color. That doesn't matter. The reason why we reload the checkpoint there is specifically because we need a specific NPC, and for some reason, the cutscene beforehand despawns him. But by reloading the checkpoint, we actually get that NPC back. So what we're going to do is we're going to head all the way over to the mission marker, and the NPC will have been spawned in. And that NPC is actually the guy running the parking lot. So I'm going to do this at the correct angle here so that I don't get out on Jackie's side. We're going to go towards the mission marker and open these doors, which are conveniently just big enough to bring a car in. So we're going to bring in our fast car, and we're going to do a little bit of car food. We're not going to wait on Jackie. He's going to slow us down a little bit. We're going to just sneak in here. Hopefully take care of these 3 first. Sometimes one of these guys, the bigger guy, like, actually survives. It's not about the ramming, it's about the speed that you have. These guys will now move out of that previous area just enough to be able to hit them. That's why I delayed a little bit. Hit these 2, and unfortunately Jackie, because Jackie's in the way, and then just finish this guy off. Perfect. Good. Now, unfortunately, when we come out, we're going to be here. Our car isn't. Dude, where's my car? Actually, it's still inside, so if we just restart from checkpoint. Dude, there's my car. So I gotta wait for Jackie to get in the car, which that can be problematic sometimes. Jackie can sometimes decide not to get in the car because Jackie does as Jackie wants. So storyline wise, Jackie has just killed a man. This is going to be like a very pivotal turning point for Jackie's character. And the nice thing is the initiation is just around the corner. You can see Jackie's not taking it too well. Wei was murdered several hundreds of people so far. He is taking it well. And so with that, we get sworn in as brothers with Jackie. Okay, this should be us meeting Raymond, and then we go to the mission that's just down the road. So this is going to get us our third hideout. Yep, this one. So this is the boatyard. You'll see it for a second here, and then it warps us inside. So this is going to be the last of the hideouts that we get unlocked during the story. This one is very problematic for the speedrun because we have to run a little bit further, but also you have to keep an eye on the radar because on the other side of the street, a cop can spawn in. And if a cop does spawn in and you walk into any NPC during this bit, then he will aggro from all the way across the road and you'll have to deal with him. So as he's obviously there, I'm just going to take this very, very slowly and make sure there's no NPCs coming towards me here. And then for this mission, the way you start it is to get a car and then phone Jackie. You need a car because you need something that Jackie can ride in. So I'm taking this slowly to make sure I don't hit anything.
How's it going?
Other than that guy deserves it.
You still got that
So
plan you were talking about?
we phone Jackie. Jackie says, obviously, hey, we need to bring a car because his is in the shop after the last mission. May have used it to ram a few cars or two. It's fine. So head this way, then head left, and then we are in a straight shot towards the actual mission marker. So there's a little bit of optimization to the way that we go in this bit. You can actually go one of two ways. They're relatively similar in terms of like length and speed, but one of them, which is going via the actual road itself, has a couple of car spawns which can get in the way. So we're going to go the fancier way. So this mission is massively RNG. This mission kind of sucks. So Jackie's outlining that we're going to get into a heist over in the dockyard. This is why it's called Dockyard Heist. So the two ways you can go, there's the off-ramp here, or you can go the way that we're going. The off-ramp, you can see, has a couple of cars, but we're going to go this way. And with the right angle, jump the stairs. That's fine. And then we're going to just go this way. The off-ramp would have taken us off here, but if there are a bunch of cars there, you would have to deal with them and like having not much room to get past them. So I really like going down that way a lot more because there's not much you have to deal with. Okay, so we're going to break into the dockyard, which again doesn't take too much because there's just a bit you can jump up here. See that Jackie's now having a lot of second thoughts about everything now that he's actually killed someone. And then in this mission, we're going to do a little bit of setup for the mission after this one. It's going to look a little bit slower than doing the mission normally. And it kind of is, but it also isn't because it brings the time back quite nicely. I don't know how I missed the jump there. So what you're supposed to do is go along the left-hand path, like up there, like past those two guys. You fast talk your way through, or just go this way and get a car. Now, we need to be very careful and not get the attention of any of the enemies. I think the car to the next part is a bit faster. This is still fine. This one's still decent. So, again, just shortcut through here. Be very careful of the explosive barrels on the left because you can hit those. It's looking for personal experience, unfortunately. And there's going to be an NPC ahead that we have to speak to. We're going to stop just before the security car here because that's about where you can go without getting a game over. I'm going to be very curt and upfront with this guy. There's a little bit of a longer animation here that we have to wait for to be able to get into here. So what we're getting here is a specific tool to be able to cut into a couple of these vehicles. The nice thing is this tool is actually a weapon. So it's going to help out a lot in the next bit. Because RNG usually dictates that we are not going to be able to like get out of this nice and easily. So we grab the tool and then we run back. These small security cars that are right next to us, they're actually pretty decent. They're like surprisingly fast. Like I actually was considering taking it back over this vehicle. You can go to the right or you can go to this ramp here, and then the ramp is a nice like line up here to just get back out. Drive close enough to Jackie to get the next bit, and then we are going to hit all of these guys. Missed the last guy. That's fine. We have the tool to be able to take care of him. So you're alive. That's interesting. Want to do a full combo on that guy. So here's the luck. There are 4 trucks. It can be any of the 4 trucks. if you get hyper lucky and actually get the first truck, you can skip a fight. I've had it happen once and never again after that. It's not usually the first truck. So ideally, it's the second. But if you get, like, unlucky with the first truck, we do have to do this fight. But again, the nice thing is, we have this tool. Watch out for this guy. And sometimes we're able to do a counter when you don't hit the counter button. So we're just going to do, like, full combo there. That didn't kill one of them inside, so that's fine. We'll just turn around and deal with him here. Go. Did a strong attack by holding the button there to make sure that he went down. I was hoping Jackie would have done enough damage to him to just do that with this guy, but we needed one more hit. And then we just open the rest of the trucks. Thankfully, there's no other fight after that if it isn't like the second or third truck. But for speed purposes, we're ideally hoping that it's this one. That's that one. Good. So this bit's going to be a bit weird. If you've done this mission casually, you'll know that you can actually just hijack this truck. We're not going to do that. We're going to take a little bit of a slower method of dealing with it, but it's going to save us time at the end of this mission and at the start of the next mission. So the truck is going to rubber band, which is how you catch up to it. As you can see, this is our car. This is our fast car that we got earlier. So you have to wait for Wade to take off his helmet. We're going to get in the fast car. You can see that it's gotten quite far ahead of us, but it starts rubber banding right now. So instead of action hijacking, what we're going to do instead is we're going to ram the truck off the road. We just need the truck to stop to be able to get Jackie out of the truck. Several ways you can do this quite fast. If you can get it against the wall, you can drag the driver out, which is a lot harder to do than it sounds. We're just going to keep ramming it. Delayed there. That's good because it was facing my front. As soon as it stops, usually... Buddy? Sometimes they still drive even when the driver has like been knocked out. If you can get close enough, you can actually like drag the driver out and make this bit go a bit faster. Game's not letting me. It's just going to have to wait until the game says, yep. But the nice thing is about this, once you get Jackie out of the truck, you're supposed to find a vehicle, but we have our fast car. So we can just use that instead. And for this very long drive back, it's actually a little faster like this. You're not at the whim of RNG in terms of all of these cars, which are usually pretty slow on this highway. And by doing this, this also makes it so the game registers that our fast car is the car that we're using. So we're going to go off the on-ramp. A little bit of a quicker lineup. At the end of this mission, Jackie's going to get arrested. So in an attempt to stop Jackie getting arrested, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ram my car all the way down there towards that wall. Bye, Jackie. Good luck, Jackie. Jackie's still going to get arrested. By throwing the car all that way down there, it's going to make it so the car doesn't despawn in this cutscene. If the car is too close to this cutscene, it gets completely despawned. But this way, when this cutscene starts and Jackie gets arrested, that car should be still at the end where I just threw it. Perfect. There it is. Because for this bit, we need to get up to the right really quickly here and get a taxi as fast as possible. We get a text from Ricky. This is going to be... Oh, perfect. This is going to be intensive care. It's another reason why we want this fast car. So this is going to take us to the K-bar, which is at the top part of the map. Sometimes the taxi takes a long time to park here. Ramming the wall is really good. So again, game has registered that the fast car is still our car, so as soon as we're out of this cutscene, it will be in front of us. We have a very short time to be able to get to the hospital. You'll see the timer on the left-hand side. You can get there with any number of cars that are in this area. Even if you run down here and get one of these smaller cars that are on the left-hand side, you can still get there in enough time. But the fast car is obviously the fast car. And now this is a very long, very scary mission again. This is one of those that we can die very, very quickly in. I actually really like this mission a lot. So we're going to head to the left here. Cut through this little bit here, and then if we just go straight here instead of to the right, we can save ourselves having to make a jump and just go straight to the front door of the hospital. Oh, let's not do that. Let's not ram up the wall. There we go. So this is one of the big reasons why we have fast disarm is the start of this mission right here. This guy we grab from behind and just take his gun. And then deal with the other enemies that are in front of us. Deal with him so that he doesn't deal with us. That's a shame. If I could have taken care of him before he landed there, would have been a bit quicker. We restart from checkpoint, reloads our gun, gets our health back, gets in a better position to carry on. Shame. Go through here, take care of you. And the guy went behind the door, which is a shame. Now, there's one guy here who loves going to the left-hand side and going to the MRI machine. So I like going this way to try and force him to the right, which unfortunately he is being a pain today. I'm a little lower HP, so I'm going to deal with these guys with slow motion. If I can get the explosive, that'd be great. Perfect, good. Then we're just going to run all the way to the end, grab one of the guns on the way through to get our ammo back. Now comes the scary part. Now comes the incredibly scary part. I'm going to look at how much HP I've got left in this bit to determine which pathway I take through here. I'm going to go the side safe path. So what we want to do is run all the way down there to get to the next mission marker. Because my HP is massively, massively reduced, I'm going to go the safe way. What we need to do is get to the door to trigger the checkpoint. And that HP is going to carry on into this bit, which is also scary. We need to get to the security center to input the code to turn off the alarm. If there is an enemy right outside the door as we go in, you have to kill them, which unfortunately, I don't know where that explosion came from, but someone hit the fire extinguisher. So unfortunately, they delayed my movement anyway. Okay, wait. That should make them all go past the security room anyway, which is good. Because the thing is, when you go into this room, their position gets locked. So if there's a guy there, he will just shoot you while you're inputting the code. So once again, it's been a couple of hours. It's one of the 4-digit codes. You can't input the same numbers again. That is perfect. You would think not getting any number at the start is bad. That's fantastic. So now it should be 4 and 5, and it's just where they are. Yep, easy peasy. That's why getting none of the numbers for the first one is great, because you then have 6 numbers and 4 of them are correct. So the chances of getting, again? The chances of getting those correct numbers in the second round is so high. We start from checkpoint, kills all the enemies behind us. You have me covered, Ricky. Okay, only one appeared in front of me. That's good, because let's say now I won't get shot from behind. The shotgun enemies are genuinely terrifying. Oops. Take care of all of them. My ammo situation is getting a little bit scary, so I'm going to take the submachine gun here. There's another enemy that's getting caught behind there. They're actually stuck on the other end. That's very unfortunate. Again, shotgun guy's got to go. Also, Ricky can die in this bit and get us a game over, which, yeah, that's unfortunate if it happens. We can also shoot Ricky and kill him, which, let's not do that. This enemy is here, and that's that. That's not the last part of the scary bit of this mission. We are now going to get a 4-flame wanted level, which is really bad. If you saw earlier how we took care of cars, like, really quickly and disabled them, they can do the same to us. I'm going to take this little bit in here in an attempt to have us not get shot from behind. And then we're going to go a very specific route, which is going to look a bit weird. This is going to attempt to get them stuck and respawn in a specific area. So we're going to go up via a Spirit Zone where we got the tuxedo earlier. Go this way and make this jump. They're going to respawn one last time, ideally in a good position. Behind us is good. I'm delaying myself here again for a good respawn there. When you get rid of the cops here, getting Ricky to his destination is one of several different areas. All depends on where you are on the map, which is nice. Now, ideally, I can get rid of them and they don't respawn. That one lone cop running is going to be an issue, so I have to go past him. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So this is one of Ricky's drop-off points. There's another one to the right-hand side if you have to make another loop, but this is absolutely perfect.
There aren't that many decent guys left in this
Nice.
game. All right, see you, bye.
Sometimes the dialogue breaks and Ricky just leaves. So that's the end of intensive care, and then we're going to get our second save load right here. This is our second bit where we need to go and sleep. And thankfully, this just puts us in this apartment and we can just go behind us and sleep here. Good. So this isn't going to lead to a cutscene like most of the time. This is going to lead into a text, but we need to turn it to nighttime to be able to do this. This is Important Visitor, and this is Karaoke Round 2. So Sunnywood is at the top of the map. We'll be going there a couple of times in the next few missions, so we need to go and hopefully get a taxi soon. We'll go outside. Hey, if you could stop, that'd be great. No? Cool. Not getting one. Okay, we'll get our fast car out of the garage and we'll try and get a taxi that way. Very, very unfortunate. no taxi whatsoever. That's really bad luck. That is really, really bad luck. That's wild. The joys of trying to find a taxi. Alright. Just gonna head off towards the mission marker while we do that. This is the quickest way. There's one. Very unfortunate. I did go the way the taxi went originally in the hopes of like trying to catch up to it, but it despawned because it was too far away. You can see that I was almost there anyway at this point. Alright, so we're going to get a character that we have to take over to the K-bar that we were just at. This character is called King. We're going to get given Sunny's car. Sunny's car is terrible. It's really bulky and really slow. It handles well, but that's the only good thing I can say about it. So we're just going to be driving this all the way to the actual K-bar itself. We'll be taking a couple of like little shortcuts here and there. We'll be taking the corner to the top right, as I said, later on when we get a faster car. But for now, we'll be taking a route that we'll be taking a lot of times through this bit, which we can just avoid going to the left by going this way. Won't take the third one. We will just be going straight over. Oops. See that if you slow down a lot, this just slows the car down so much. The nice thing is when we get like halfway up the hill here, if we're to the right-hand side, this triggers cutscene a little bit earlier. Cool. So thankfully we don't have to watch out for the bouncer this time and not hit him. So we're just going to follow the hostess and then we're going to go grab some hostesses. So we're just going to go stand over by Katushka. It's another mission that can just like break a tiny little bit. Unfortunately, like sometimes the NPC's animations just refuse to play.
Hey there, what's your name? I'm Wei. Listen, I saw you looking at my friend and I figured you realize he's a famous American celebrity. And I just wanted to
Great intro. Great line. So we have to walk Katushka back, then we also have to walk back the third one. We don't have to walk back the second one. Game like forces us back, and the karaoke room is just over here, thankfully. As soon as we get Katushka in here, we'll be turning around and going after the next hostesses. Yep, there's the karaoke machine. This round of karaoke isn't quite as strict as the first round. The first round was like 80%, this one's like 60%. This is one of the NPCs that can break.
I don't know. My friend and I gonna enjoy your company? All right. Why don't you join my friend and I'll be in a second.
So we're gonna turn around. Then we got a fast talk situation over here.
You okay, miss? I'm son on ye, motherfucker. Now get out of here before I break every bone in your body.
I love that line so much.
This guy seemed like he was getting a little pushy.
We get that a lot.
You work here?
Yes.
So, are you allowed to join the customers for a drink?
Oh, that sounds nice.
Okay. So take her over, and then we have to do the karaoke. As said, there are like new karaoke songs, but again, I thought the law is the quickest song.
I'm here for my friend.
Well, if you ever want to hang out at places not like this, let me know.
I'd like that. Can I call you?
Sounds good. Thanks. Give me a
Oh,
call.
right, we have to sit down first. Almost forgot. So this is the bit that can break. I found that by looking at the hostesses, it actually makes it break less, but sometimes these two on the right-hand side, they just won't respond straight away, which is like really weird. It's like a loading thing or something like that.
Friendly too.
How do you not know Hong Kong has
Just gonna wait and make sure.
You just had to come to the right place.
Well, I expect you girls to make sure King never
Good, looking
makes
good.
that mistake again.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to go and obviously sing karaoke.
All right, Wei. Why don't you show us what you got?
Come on, Wei. Let's see those lungs.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
So like this being like another VIP room, for some reason, like random people can just walk in. Interesting camera angle. It usually turns around. So once again, this is the fastest song by, again, like a good 30 seconds. Otherwise, we do some Steely Dan to mix things up. mission off this one? Is it Fast Girls? It might be Fast Girls, actually. We are getting very close to our third race coming up. Sheer irony of the undercover cop Wei Shen singing I Fought the Law and the Law Won. We always have to do guitar solo every time. We have Riz, see? Again, just make sure you don't accidentally hit backspace too early. With that, camera out. Cool. All right, so this next little bit of the mission, you can game over quite easily. I'm going to try and push, it always brings my phone out because of that. Try and push King along a little bit here because he is the game over marker and we can get out here way faster than he can. So what we're going to do is intentionally not go too fast so that we get the next checkpoint here. Cool. And then restart from checkpoint. That brings King into the fight and then we won't have to lose time to get in a game over. Once again, surprise exchange. Now, the nice thing is the knife guy went after me, which is very good because now I have the knife. Because we're going to use that in a second here. Let's deal with this guy. Okay. The game actually went after... Okay, so it did the animation to take him out, but because King interrupted me, that was instant. That was actually really good. What ideally I wanted to do was grab the knife and just throw it at that guy, but hey, I'll take an insta-kill. That's great. The GPS says we can't go this way because it's a one-way street, but obviously we are going to go this way. It's the quickest way. Mostly. I hate that corner every time. Sunny's car sucks. It's just so slow and it just handles terribly. It's okay. It handles okay, but it's so slow. Okay.
I still got contacts stateside who could set up the other. All right, here you go.
So we do get Sunny's car here, but obviously we do want a taxi if we can find one. There were a few behind us, so hopefully there are still a couple over here. Yep. Nice, both types of taxi. Right, take this taxi, and we're going all the way back up here to Sunny's. Fast Girls, cool. So this is the final race. This is the final race skip, which we'll get this one. Definitely we'll get this one this time. There's kind of like two versions of it you can do. You can mess it up a little bit and it's still fine. So this is Ricky's car. Ricky's car is pretty good. This is very fast and good handling. So again, I'll show you this way, the shortcut that we'll be taking. So instead of going directly down the street, we take this little bit to the right. Try not to hit this pillar right here. And then we just jump over this. In a nice fast car, you just glide off the top of it. It's really nice. So this is Tiffany and I believe Vivian, one of which is voiced by Lucy Liu, as I said earlier. Heading to the car rally this way. And there is a nice little shortcut here. We can just obviously go over this. If I can use my ram near the top, which unfortunately I didn't because I hit that guy, you can actually stop all of this slowdown from happening.
Let's say I'm as much of a gangster as Ricky.
So what we can do here is get the cutscene trigger a tiny bit earlier by hitting the right-hand wall.
What's Ricky doing anyways? Why is he too busy?
I don't know.
Yep, good. All right, so race number 3. We're going to skip half of this race. It's not too bad when you've done it a couple of times.
All right. Vivi and I won't talk.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, get some speed and some distance. We're going to go to the right. It's quite precise at first. Concentrate on this a little bit. That's good. That's not. Okay, so I didn't get the full skip, but I got half of it. So essentially, if you have the right angle, because I like slightly hit the lip of the bit before I couldn't get over the next barricade, it doesn't matter because we only lose like 10 seconds to having to go like around this corner, but you can skip over to that barricade to the left and then just get back on. As you can see at the top right, we skipped half the race. It doesn't matter if you like miss the other barricade, you just still skip half of it. It's really nice. There's a little bit more of a skip on this race coming up in a bit. The cops don't matter too much. They might actually get in my way a little bit, which would be a bit of a pain, but usually if we just drive forward, they'll de-aggro. Most of the time. So we do need to be a bit careful with the line we take for the next skip. It's still about the same as like going the actual like way in the race itself, but we're going to go above where the marker is. And you can see that on the mini-map, I'm kind of trying to follow... Do you mind? I'm trying to follow the line so that the return to the race bit doesn't go on for too long. So you'll see me go to the right a little bit here and then go to the left here because otherwise it's a little tight timing-wise. But this leads you to just going on like a nice longer straight, so you pick up obviously more max speed. So, a little bit of speed tech for this bit as well. This bit's fun. You're supposed to get a guaranteed cop spawn on you, which is actually parked right there. So when we leave here, this cop will always drive after you. But if you get him out of his car, he can't drive after you. So we throw him out of his car. Go to about here. That way it gives us enough space to get out of here. Get back into Ricky's car, and then we're just gonna drive past them.
Are they after us? Oh no, don't worry.
You can drive over that little bit to the right, but you just go this way. That's it, they're dealt with. Easy as that.
Oh, you lost some, thank God. Nice work, Way.
Just go back to old Sandra's condo, which is just up here.
Well, unless Sandra has some other exciting plan.
Oh, that's it, just over there.
Cool, he's busy. So coming out of this mission, we are going to be in this hideout now. We're just going to go outside and get a nice fast car. Is this the feng shui mission? This is the feng shui mission, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Ah. All right, so grab a fast car from here. We're not going to have this for too long. We're actually going to get given another car in the mission coming up, which is just outside. This car is going to look like a... That's not the mission I want. Oh, no. Oh, that is unfortunate. Can I load the autosave? I can... Yeah, I can load the autosave. That's unfortunate. It's very rare that you actually end up hitting that one, but that's not too bad that you can just hit the autosave. Lady, I can very much believe that you are arguing on your anniversary. You'd be surprised how many times that happens. So I'm just going to go to the right and avoid the marker on the left this time. Thank you. And actually hit the correct mission marker, which is just down the road. So we are going to go and do a job for Jan. So in front of us is Old Salty and the Salty Mobile, which if you look at it, it's rusted up. It looks like a piece of crap. This is one of the better vehicles in the game. It has amazing handling. It's got pretty decent acceleration and top speed. This car's great. Like, despite what it looks like, it's way better than Sunny's car. So we're going to deal with this one guy who has like a big thing about feng shui. Don't mind me just doing that. So he's going to leave, and then we're going to break into his apartment. This is basically just a puzzle mission, to be honest. We have a little bit of optimization like in some of this as well. We also have to be very careful. Old Salty follows the pathway that we take, and because his hitbox is a bit bigger because he's a larger lad like I am, he gets stuck on corners.
We got a delivery for you?
Really? My husband didn't tell me. He better not have ordered something stupid from the internet again.
So we're going to take a bit of a wider line through this bit so he doesn't get stuck on that plant on the left. If we get a little too far from Salty, it is an instant game over. This. It's not too bad that I clumsied that because now he'll definitely be within range of me. So we're going to go this way. We're going to run intentionally towards this security guard because he will always see us even if we stick to the left-hand side. And we walk until, obviously, we do the fast talk. We're apparently delivering his new package in the middle of the garden, which, sure. Thanks. And we're going to do a little bit of optimization and go up this rock here. Also, it doesn't matter at this point. He will go over to where he needs to go. Very rarely this mission can actually break here, and it doesn't give us the next marker for some reason. Hopefully it'll be fine. Yeah, we're good. Thanks, old Salty. So, again, another little lockpick segment. Come on, my dude. I'm hurrying. Leave me alone, Salty. So, we're going to mess with this guy's feng shui. So, in Asian countries, number 4 is very much associated with death. So, we're just going to break 4 of the vases. Vases. That didn't break. There we go. They're very weird. If they fall to the ground, they're not always broken all the time. So just be a bit careful. We're then going to get a new type of puzzle that we haven't seen yet to get into this collectible. Hoping it's not an early one because I really don't deal... It is. I don't deal well with those ones when they're early. Good. So you do have to get the collectible, even though obviously, you know, the collectible's optional in this game. That one is one you have to do. Refrain from saying feng shui story that I've had in real life in my time because it is psychotic. And then we move the piano. Thanks, Salty. So just run to the door, and then we're in this like fixed little section here. No. So we just hide behind here. You don't even have to do it too fast. Sometimes, weirdly, the game won't let you hide behind the sofa. It's very weird. You just have to make the game, you know, actually let you hide. And then we just have to wait for this guy to leave. Which his AI is having some okay, cool. Ignore the fact that, you know, it got kicked open and there's a boot mark in it. So just wait for him to definitely go past there, and then we can leave. You don't have to, like, you don't have to get to this door straight away anyway. You have to wait for old Salty. And then we're going to go take out the camera. So, yet again, this is another 4-digit code. So you know the drill. 198.
Why do they call you old salty crab?
Perfect. Oh, I love it when I don't get any on the first one. 2, 6, 4, and 5 of the others. I'm going to do 2 here, 4 here, 5 here, 6 here. Oh, absolutely perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. Great code. I genuinely really like it when I don't get any of the numbers because it makes it so easy for the like second one onwards. So we're going to go down here, and we're actually going to get to use one of those small security vehicles. Sometimes also he just doesn't get in the car straight away. So I'll drive next to him to coerce him to get inside. And we just need to drive over the wall. And that's that. Now, unfortunately, that taxi's going to get away, which is a shame. I'm keeping an eye during this cutscene to see if there's a taxi that comes from up the hill. If we don't see a taxi to run to, then we'll just go... you might be good. Lights are on. If the taxi goes by, we'll just get back into this car, and then we'll just go after another taxi. Actually, see you over there. That'll be good. Got in just for the phone call from Broken Nose Jang.
Hello. It's Jang. How are you?
Uncle Po. He's dead. We're making arrangements for the funeral.
Things could get
I'm going to go to this taxi because I don't trust myself with that taxi behind. Like having a bit of distance.
Of course. Whatever you need.
Okay, so we got to go and do conflicted loyalties. This one's one that doesn't have any fighting in. It's got a whole bunch of puzzles again. It's going to be pretty much the last puzzle mission of the game. Like, it's going to be the last time we do, like, any codes and stuff like that. So we need to go to department building. We don't get given a car here, but this car is really fast, so we're just going to take this car instead. By taking the shortcut, we're actually going to be on a better pathway to where we want to go at the end of this mission. To the right. With the pillar again, and then just launch it. Perfect. I want to go one shortcut through here, and I don't want to take the second one. That way, if I go through the straight path this way, again, it's a little bit straighter, so it's a bit more of a quicker way to go speed-wise, and then I will also be facing the back end of this bit. We take the pavement here. We're going to get to probably a fresh ramp, brand new ramp, just making, you know, new tricks. We're going to be getting to this guard here, who is like one of the only other guards in this game that actually does his job.
Excuse me, sir. I don't think I've seen you before.
I'm a location scout. Could you let me have a look around?
Only residents and their guests are allowed, sir.
I'll be quick. I'll make it worth your while.
No. It's not going to happen, sir. You have to
It is going to happen. We're just going to go around the back. So you have to go to him first. We get back in our car. You see the GPS telling us to go backwards, but actually the quicker way is this way. There's a nice little extra shortcut here. I didn't fly out the windscreen this time because that keeps happening when I go this way. So I climb this way. There's two different ways you can go through this bit. We're just going to go the one way that's obviously a little bit quicker. Sure we make the jump, otherwise we have to climb up that again. We go this way, and we see this guy who I like to call the pisser. Make sure he doesn't touch you because he's got clean hands. Then we head up here. So for this bit, we're going to take the first jump, and then we're not going to take the second jump, and that should put us directly in front of the door we need to go in. Perfect. Once again, 4-digit code. Hopefully I can have it as good as the last two. The 8 is correct, the 9 is in a good place. Okay. Oh, that's potentially not great. Wait, which is the one I didn't do? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8? How did I not do 8? Oh, wait, we got the 8 earlier. That's right. My memory, not what it used to be. So, yeah, the downside to having, like, good numbers at the start is that you have less positions to work with. When you get a correct number, you cannot reposition the numbers that are correct immediately. That's why having like 2 correct numbers at the start is not necessarily a good thing. It's on the left. Actually on the right. It's around here somewhere. So you are on a timer for this bit. It's usually pretty generous. We go upstairs now, and then if you do this next bit, like just immediately, everything is scripted perfectly here.
You look beyond beautiful.
So we plant the bug. We're not supposed to get spotted. You'll see that she's going into the bathroom, and then Ricky's out on the balcony. So perfect position to just jump down and immediately go and get the memory stick. Game puts in this cutscene. We can't move until like the game lets us move anyway. So.
Oh, and now that you mention it, maybe I should check up on her.
So there we go, and then we go and jump off the balcony. So our car that we had earlier is obviously like nowhere near here, but thankfully there is a very fast bike right here. Wait for the helmet and the rev, unfortunately, and then we are going to head all the way over here. We're going to get a mission cutscene with Pendrew. I'm being a bit careful here because this bit can be a bit scary. Trying to position myself in a little bit of a better position for the out of this cutscene bit. And then we're going to use the bike. You see the like little bit of the mall there to the left. You can actually go through that. It's a little bit of a shortcut. There's actually a mission there in the Year of the Snake DLC. Bad. And then on the way back to our apartment, we're going to set up for the next mission, which should be the funeral, which is the next in our line of exceedingly scary missions. I'm going to stop a little bit early because sometimes this guy gets a bit confused by the bike. That's run out. I'm going to park it right in front of our apartment building, which is right here. Okay, so that sets it up for the next mission. We need a car that goes pretty fast because we're going to be driving long distances with Jackie. Jackie's going to get let out of prison and we're going to take him to Uncle Poe's funeral. We're pretty much about 5 or 6 missions from the end. Every mission at this point is quite long and quite convoluted in some of them. Most of them are pretty scary as well. Like, there's a lot of these missions that can just kill us really quickly, like you saw earlier.
Shen, you're making a mistake.
Fuck you! Fuck you too, Pedro.
So Way's getting quite involved in the Salon Yi at this point, and like there's questions over his loyalty, whether he's still an undercover cop or whether he's more loyal to the Triad, which for the purposes of this bit, we're very much more loyal to the Triad. And Raymond has gotten Jackie out of jail for us.
Thanks. Don't mention it.
So obviously going to... Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Push my car closer. I can't get in because of that. Hold on. I actually can't get it in because of that. Hold on, I need to push my car out of the way. That taxi actually messed up my car that badly? Are you kidding me? Good game. I can't go and get a fresh car out. Absolutely amazing. You want taxis to come along at the best of times, then they do stuff like that. This game is a little temperamental sometimes in letting you in your own vehicle. Like, you don't want it up against walls and stuff like that, which is why I parked sufficiently far away enough, but the taxi decided that that wasn't good enough. So we want to be very careful here, again, because we're going to the police station. There are cops everywhere, so I'm going to go a bit slower so I don't ram into anyone. And now with this car and now with Jackie, we're going to go and actually go to the funeral. We're going to go and get suits first, so we're going to go back to Espirazone. I'm going to jump into Jackie's side instead of jumping over the car. This stops Jackie from trying to run around the car instead. And as Jackie was getting out of jail, he was with Inspector Teng, called earlier.
Said if I started snitching, she'd help me.
Drive up the stairs. Sure. Thanks, sleeping dogs. We're going to go up the stairs so that we can get in the car a little bit quicker once we get our suits.
Perfect for you.
This is why I don't trust sleeping dogs. Stuff like that.
Never thought I'd be able to afford a suit from a place like that.
Okay, Jackie's running around quite fast, so I'm just going to wait for him. Or not. There we go. Again, this is why you let Jackie get into the car. Jackie, come on now. Cool. So we're going to do the same jump as we did before. We want to get to the highway. That's the quickest way to get to where we need to go. So we take this jump. I like to call it the Espirazone jump because it's right next to Espirazone. Rather than land on the bus there. And then we just go through this little shortcut again and we get to the hospital area. Which, if you remember earlier, this is where we get onto the highway. It's going to look like we're going the long way because obviously we're getting a bit further away from our objective here. But going around this way on the highway is much, much faster.
I think that was cool. No, I'm not so sure.
So we have to get all the way to the next island to be able to get to the funeral.
Too much time to think. Yeah?
I quite like this conversation because it's a nice, like, very intimate conversation between, like, Wei and Jackie. You know,
Now we're going to a funeral.
But we'll be using one of the off-ramps later on.
Dude, I'm thinking about that myself lately.
Might be time for me to make
You can jump off to the left there if you want, but it's actually just as fast just to go this way.
big, but what the hell?
Like, the game isn't telling us to leave here, but if you just leave off of this one, you're right in front of where the cemetery is.
Just bullshit?
Yeah. Right.
So, as you can probably guess, if the wedding didn't go well, the funeral is not going to go well either. At Uncle Poe's funeral, we are going to get attacked by the 18K. So we're going to have to try and escape the funeral, hopefully without dying, because this is very, very hard. The one bit of speed tech that is actually kind of scary. We're just going to ignore everyone in this first wave. Hopefully not getting hit too many times. Being hit once is fine. Deal with these two. Good headshot. Good headshot. Now I'm going to take the slow motion shots here because this bit is very scary with these enemies. It's one who died. I'm going to start from the left-hand side because, again, there's like an enemy to the left. This is very scary, this bit. Just to shoot him, which is a shame. Chain pistol's good, but it's very inaccurate. I need you dead. Okay, good. So, do a little bit of optimization. We're supposed to go all the way to get the grenade launcher guy. I'm going to start from here, run, and try and jump over here. Perfect. And then we're going to shoot this guy from afar. Restart from checkpoint, which puts us in his position with his grenade launcher. Do another scary little bit here by avoiding every single enemy here. Hopefully that gets both. Perfect. Again, I want to take the slow motion because I'm a bit scared of this bit. So that hell's on fire on that guy's body. And then we need to take care of all the enemies in this bit. So I'm going to shoot you first. You second. You third. One survived, which is fine. We'll take care of the van as it drives in. Try and hit him from here. Missed, that's fine. We'll just use our shots a second. Take care of you. Switch to bullets. Take care of that guy. Okay, not too bad. I'm very glad that went well. I'm very, very glad that went well. That's like a very scary mission. You can die very, very quickly in that mission. Like, usually we don't want to obviously use... We don't want to use all of our... what was I going to say? We don't want to use all of our, like, slow motion bits. We want to use slow motion in that one. It's really scary. For upgrades, this is the final one. We want melee weapon boost. That's the most important one out of all of these. By getting melee weapon boost, we can actually do a boss fight coming up a lot quicker. And if I'm right, this is the one on the other side of the map. It is, yes. Okay. So we're in our last 3 to 4 missions at this point. Again, the cops spawned in, so I've got to be a little bit more careful here, which is a shame. Okay, so once again, as per usual, get your fast car out, try and get a taxi. Sometimes you won't. You really need a taxi for as long as this mission is on the other side of the map. I'm very surprised the cop didn't aggro onto me because he flashed for a second there. Very lucky. So all the way over to here, Civil Discord. It's a very weird mission that can actually kill me coming out of a cutscene at certain points. So we're going to take this a bit slower. So basically, Big Smart Lee and the 18K are now just taking out everybody. So we're going to take them out. We're going to do a little bit of Carfu here because it's obviously a little bit faster. A bit of speed, take out as many people as possible. I think that wasn't a great angle. When we take out enough enemies, there's going to be a spawn exactly where I am. Alrighty, I didn't mean to hit you in that. So they're spawning in, so I'm just going to get into a good position for when they're in. Because you ideally want to take care of as many as possible. Because the downside is they're going to start to go to the other side. Yep, that's why I'm trying to take this guy out before he runs over there. There's like a car over there where like allies get out, and for some reason they get like really confused. With this last guy, I'm just going to take him out normally. Okay. I don't know what's happening with this guy. He's like actually not being able to be hit. Should have just hit him with the car, to be honest. Yeah, one of the enemies that you can't surprise exchange, so I'm just going to hit him. Okay, cool. Yeah, I should just hit him with the car again, to be honest. So at this point, we're learning that the 18K are going after everybody. Well, not the 18K. Yeah, the 18K in Big Smiley. They're even going after Mrs. Chu. This cutscene could actually kill you coming out of it, so this is the one I'm a little concerned about.
No, I'm with you all the way, boss.
So I'm just going a bit slower here.
Just for once, I'd like to fight someone outside my own triad, though.
Okay, and then this is where we get a little bit scary moments again. Okay, good, we're good. Again, I am taking a little bit of slow motion to take care of the free shotgun guys ahead of me. I could take the shotgun here, but I don't like it that much. So out we go. I want to grab this machine pistol on the way. Ideally, take out a couple of these enemies as they come down. We're going to have to use this pillar as cover. See, the machine pistol is very, very inaccurate. Again, this is the same situation where if you shoot the driver, as you see, they will aim for you. And ammo, just pick up the shotgun. Oh, I know that was going to happen. Second I ran out of ammo. That's a shame. All right, so we just do this bit again. It does refill my ammo a little bit, which is nice. You can now understand why I don't like the shotgun. Ow, already that's real bad. There's no cars, there's no weapons here anymore because of the reload. Where he's going. Also, sometimes they will get stuck up here and not run down, which is really weird. And if you go too far up there, it will actually game over you. Okay. So, we go and help Mrs. Chu. Well, actually, we don't need to help Mrs. Chu. She deals with the situation herself. But we're going to go into the back alley and deal with the enemies that come here. There's going to be a couple of nasty ones. Ideally, yeah, blow up the car. That's perfect. There is another car, you just can't see it. That's why I'm like shooting through the smoke. It's a little scary if they get around the corner. That's why I'm backing up a little bit. There's one more like behind, yeah. Okay. So for this bit, we're going to go on the roof of Conroy, and we're going to get given a grenade launching assault rifle again. And in this bit, we do have, like, technically unlimited ammo. There is a place where we can just refill our ammo. And this is just going to be a timed section. We do need to be a bit careful because we can accidentally grenade launch ourselves on the piece of cover that we're using. And essentially, there's an ally strength bar to the left. We just have to kill enemies and stop our allies from dying. Which you can see isn't too hard with the grenade launcher. Time a car comes in, we'll just blow it up and kill the people inside. That actually didn't kill them. A lot more alive than I would like at this point. If it's getting to be a little scary, I will switch to the assault rifle. Actually, at this point. After we deal with a certain amount of enemies, there will be a group that spawns on the balcony to the right. And ammo, so I'm a bit careful. We should be pretty good at this point. Get the... Oh, well, gun by accident. Oh, that'll be fine. If we fall off of this, by the way, it is a game over, so we're just going to stay up here. That just gives me a fresh one. I didn't actually realize. Neat. Hey, now we have a long driving section. So we're going to have the cops on us. We'll just get rid of them naturally, which is nice. So the way we're going to go is the same way we went for gun tutorial. We're just going to go down the alleyways. They actually both got stuck immediately. That's phenomenal. They do respawn if you like get rid of their aggro or get too far away from them a little too early. It should be fine. That one's going to get stuck because he drives way too fast. The other one's going to keep up with us, but we should be able to deal with them quite easily. And we're going to take the highway. The game wants us to go under there, down the impound lot where the gun tutorial was, but we can just go this way and it's just as fast. He got stuck. We're good. Right. And now we just go see Ricky. So yeah, Big Smile Lee is trying to get people on his side so that he gets voted in the election that's coming up.
Where the hell is Jackie? I don't know. I haven't seen her. Call him.
Here's our foreshadowing moment.
No answer. Before you came along, I expect him to be hiding out somewhere. Now, I don't know.
You think they might have gone after him?
They went for Mrs. Chu. Fuckers are going after everyone.
Yep. There's your foreshadow. So with this, we're in the last 3 missions of the game.
Listen up. You better keep a low profile for a while.
Get lucky. You can get a taxi just spawn right here. That one's going away, unfortunately. Because of that. That's a taxi. Perfect. You need a taxi desperately here because this marker is on the other side of the map. All the way down here. Buried Alive. Buried Alive is one of the most involved missions in the run in terms of speed tech. There are no cops around me, so I am free to just take the taxi, which is good. Drive this taxi a little bit down towards the pier. So there's several little bits that are going to go on in this mission. You can jump to the right there if you want, but I won't go down this way because it's a straight shot to the actual pier. There's also an enemy on the map. I don't know why, but there just is in this bit. Make sure I'm on the left-hand side so I can get back in the taxi a little bit easier. So, essentially, Big Smile Lee has taken Jackie. So we get given a text, and there are several rules for this mission. We are not allowed to go to the Aberdeen dry docks with a weapon, with anybody else, or in a vehicle. We're going to break 2 of those 3 rules, and we're going to go in a vehicle and with a weapon. So what we're going to do is a pretty convoluted but really cool method of doing that. So what we're going to do is going to go to the actual alleyway that we're supposed to go, and we really want a taxi because a taxi has a tire iron, which is the weapon. We're going to go to this bit here. We're going to drive forward and then slow down. We're going to get out, at which point we're not supposed to bring a car over here. So I'm going to very, very slowly tap forward. At this point, they're going to try and pat us down, which we're not going to get a cutscene for because obviously we're in the taxi. We're going to leave. See the top? Don't bring a vehicle to the meet, or Jackie may never be found. We don't want the vehicle anymore. We want the weapon that's inside. Because technically, they've already brushed us down for weapons and seen that we don't have any. But, you know, they're the world's worst guards. We're just going to take this weapon right in front of them and go down here. And now you can understand why we got that last upgrade for a melee weapon boost. Because it's for this part. It's for this guy. Horseface. So, the bunch of enemies are going to spawn in. We're going to drop the tire iron. Now, an enemy will likely pick this up during this bit, but that's fine. Ideally, we will just surprise exchange most of them. If we grab an enemy, we can also use, obviously, like the furniture like this, which is very, very useful because we do want to build up our face meter for one singular enemy in this bit. Start doing my surprise exchange now. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, sometimes ways like targeting targets like a completely different enemy, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, again, I don't know why he just targets like enemies like that. It's really a shame. Just have to react to like all the enemies, obviously. Please. If I can get my stomps off, that's also pretty good. That's nice. But yeah, it's that guy at the back that you can see. No one grabbed my tire iron, which is nice. But as soon as, like, obviously the face, like, fills up, I'm obviously going to go after that guy behind me. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Should fill us up with this next stomp. The combo. With that, I can now finish him in one hit, which, again, he's got, like, very low HP at this point, which is a shame. But, yeah, if you can get the face up full, like, near the start, you can just jump him in that dumpster and that's it. So for this guy, This bit is very easy. Grab your tire iron, just wail on the guy. Throw his tire iron. That's it, he's gone. That's why we get the melee weapon boost, is just to delete that guy. So, that's the first part of this mission. This bit's going to be the complicated bit. This bit's the really cool bit. So, ZY, we're after this guy. We're going to confuse the game into thinking that we have both gotten the ZY and stopped ZY and stopped his vehicle at the same time. So, it's not too hard when you know what to do, but you have to do all these steps in the right order. We need to go and trace where ZY is. What we're going to do is go and get a vehicle. You'll see that we can't use our vehicle because these guys basically set our taxi on fire. So ideally, we need a vehicle as soon as we get out of here. Doesn't matter the vehicle. It can just be any vehicle because the area we need to go to is literally just to our left. But we need to be in a car ideally. I'm not seeing any spawn in, which is a shame. This bit's just rough because sometimes you'll get a car spawn, sometimes you won't. Didn't get one that came down here, which is a shame. So just gonna go grab a car. Any car will do. Bikes also work. You can sometimes get like someone on a bike going this way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna intentionally not do the trace here. We're gonna go around the corner, this corner, and we're gonna go into this little bit and drive right into the middle, which is just against this wall here. So we're going to call ZY. Always Aberdeen, and he's always the top marker. Sometimes I'll cycle through to make sure that I do hit the same guy. Now, notice how there was no one here when we came here? Who's that guy? That's ZY. This is ZY's bike. This is me stealing ZY's bike, and me driving into the cutscene trigger. At which point, they all get on their bikes and drive off, so ZY doesn't have a bike. The game says pick up ZY's phone, and I restart from checkpoint where I get teleported halfway across the map, and all of a sudden, ZY is dead. It is that simple. The way that that works is that you're supposed to chase ZY. He goes off of his bike, and you chase him a little bit more, and then you deal with him in a fight, which leads you to this bit. But for some reason, doing this in that order confuses the game and just takes us straight here. That saves us literally a couple of minutes. It's really good. So with that, we're just going to head this way. Now, this bit is a little frustrating. So Oddsalty is going to prepare a boat for us, which is just over here. So we're not fully aware of this bit, but my friend Ignitus has been doing like a little bit of routing and like kind of fact-finding for this bit. We think we know what we need to do for this bit to make it progress. It's a bit finicky. So we've got to go to Magazine Island all the way over there, and we're going to get a couple of boats spawn in. We're fairly confident you have to kill the first 4 or 5 boats that spawn in, which as you can see, that boat likes to go backwards. So you'll see that I am just going to take my time and take care of every boat that spawns in at the very start here. Once they start to jump out of the boat, that's it dealt with. You all aren't dealt with. Okay, now you are. I think it's this one. Take care of the other one as well, just in case. But essentially, there are certain boats you have to take care of to finish this mission. At this point, that should be all of them. We're not going to know until we get really close to Magazine Island. Because the marker will disappear in a second here. Or not. No, we're good. No, we're actually good. Cool. So yeah, there you go. Now we can just go straight to the end where Jackie is, as aptly named in the mission, buried alive. You don't mind? You don't mind stop doing that? You're actually breaking my vehicle. I would like you to stop. Thanks. Bye. But if you didn't have them enough of the boats taken care of, or the right boats taken care of before this point, then you would have to deal with them before this bit. You only get the marker like 400 meters away. They're just coming with me. It's fine. As long as the cutscene starts, that's fine. Cool. And then we just drive Jackie back. So as you can see, it's all Big Smiley at this point. He is a big bad that we have to deal with. And with this is going to lead us into the penultimate mission.
Tell the others what happened. That'll be the end of Lee. Man, I don't want anything to do with any of this shit anymore.
Keeping track earlier, you remember I said there are 3 moments in the run where we have to load an autosave. This is the 3rd. I have to go to sleep after this mission. Because unfortunately, Jackie says he'll like contact us later. Fortunately, that's not going to be Jackie. So load the autosave. Puts us in the dockside apartment. A little bit of a shame because it's a little bit harder to get out of this one than obviously any of the other ones, but it's still fine for what we need. And then we get the text from Jackie. Or not Jackie in this case. So one thing that is not mentioned to you going into this mission, this is the point of no return. Once you accept this mission, you are locked into the end of the game. Be very careful because the cop is on the other side again. This will be the last time we take a taxi in this run. Which, thankfully, nice early taxi spawn. To the right. It will also be the last time we steal a taxi as well. Gets us to the mission marker a little bit faster. Oh, that's not good. Hey, boys. Please don't notice me. Thank goodness. Cop just spawned in there. That was a little scary. This is the election. And as you can see, things aren't going great. Might remember a couple of hours ago, the game was foreshadowing Mr. Tong pretty heavily. This is Mr. Tong. Provided I do this correctly, we're going to bring a gun to a knife fight. So things have gone a little wrong. We were just helping them redecorate the place. You see there's a whole bunch of like, a whole bunch of tarp all over the place, like broken windows and stuff. They just redecorate the place. It's fine. We got ourselves into a little bit of an accident. You can see there's red paint all over us. Yeah, obviously, this is obviously where we were tortured by Mr. Tong because he knows we are an undercover officer. So we're going to break out. One guy is gone for a piss. This guy's going to come and see how we are. You see all the paint on the floor. It's fine. So we're just going to conveniently fall over. And then this guy's going to help us get back up. And we're just going to demonstrate proper safety procedures because we see this light. This light's not exactly fixed to the ceiling very well. We're just going to like show him up at the ceiling. That's where it fell down. Got to make sure it's like, all in place properly. You see he's got a couple of like sweaty armpits. He's had a rough day. He's having a bit of a sleep now. We're in a forced walking section for this bit. And then the fun begins after this. So I'm going to head into the bathroom where this guy's just mixing some paint together. Like they don't have a bucket around, so they're just using the closest thing. Very vibrant, shady yellow. We're just showing this guy that this yellow is a good shade for this bathroom. I think it looked pretty good in here. On a less jokier note, if your piss is that color, please go see a doctor. Right, and with that, the real meat and veg of this actual mission begins. Because we got to escape from the building, and we have a lot of fighting to get there. Probably going to die once or twice in this mission because this mission is actually genuinely terrifying. Right. A bunch of enemies, good old bunch of surprise exchanges. There's a good bunch of like weapons around as well that we can use if things go a little wrong. So I wait half a second here so I can grab this guy on the way through. Unfortunately, I was a bit too far away because of the animation. But that'll stop him. Okay, bye. That'll stop him from knocking on the door a bit too long. And he'll come after us here. Just grab everybody else and deal with them with surprise exchanges. Surprise exchanges, as you saw earlier, is very, very good. Like, it's so, so good. Last two enemies will come from that door that he was knocking on. Ideally, we can get the both of them with surprise exchange. If not, we'll just deal with them by throwing one of them into this pipe. It's got a nice new hole. It's fine. Then we deal with that guy, and then we leave this door here. So this is going to be the game's one instance of giving you the QTE with the sprint button, which obviously is the left shift button. But we're going to try to skip that, which will save us a good 10 seconds. By running here, doing a attack, and it blows us over. Ah, it pushed me back up on this. Shame. Although it's actually skipped half the animation, which is interesting. But yeah, that stops us from having to do the long, at least QTE with the sprint button. We have another couple of enemies to fight. You can grab this guy and put him into the electric box, or you can just do the instant takedown, which is a bit faster. As you know, vaulting over equipment insta-kills enemies. Take care of this guy. We really do not want to hit any of these enemies into the grill that's next to us. It is a very, very, very long kill. This guy thankfully stayed back here so he didn't interrupt my targeting. Right, and now we deal with this guy. We'd like to call this guy Shotgun Guy. You'll never guess why. Just jump over twice, take his shotgun. Now comes the scary bit. I'm at half HP, so I'm really not happy about this. So I'm going to take this a little slower. Whoops. Don't worry, he doesn't notice us. I'm absolutely taking care of this guy. Got my face back. I'm absolutely going to shoot these guys. You can run past these guys, but yeah, that happens. This bit is scary if you start this bit with no HP. This thankfully will get all my HP back. Shoot me once. Actually going to use the slow motion this time. The problem is this guy on the left. And that guy with the shotgun in the back. You're not dead. This one I like the shotgun. We have to deal with you. All we have to do is push forward to hit not this checkpoint, but this checkpoint. Once we hit this checkpoint, we can load our game, grab this rifle. Don't worry about it. That happens from time to time. For some reason, your movement can just teleport you around, like when you're on a bit of cover. It's really weird. A guy spawns down here for some reason. We're going to wait a couple of seconds. There is an explosive canister right there. Ideally, take care of these two, and then the wave after this one is the scary part. This is where I have to do things very correctly. I wanted that to explode up there, so that's a bit of a shame. All right, so very quickly, head up here. We're going to deal with you and you, not the guy to my left. Ideally, he doesn't kill me here. Going to the left to make sure that doesn't happen. This is going to be the interesting part. Alongside either the wall or the door, we're going to drop our gun. I think that's okay. Then we want to grab the shotgun specifically. That way we don't pick up the assault rifle when we go through this cutscene. I'm a little worried I'm going to kick this away in this cutscene. See how the gun's floating there? If I turn around, the gun is close enough that I can pick it up through the wall, and I've now brought a gun into the sauna, at which point they can't deal with me. And now here comes Mr. Tong, which is supposed to be like a minute-long boss fight, unless I just shoot him in the head and just deal with him this way. Sometimes you do have to like do the counter to finish it, which this time I do have to. But that's it. I just brought a gun to a knife fight. Okay. And with that, we are in the very final mission. So this is Mr. Tong's car with his machete, which is going to steal the both of them. Have one long last drive until the last part of this mission. This last mission also has some really cool speed tag to it. If I can do it correctly, we can basically one-shot the final boss.
You are an officer of the law, same as me.
Yeah, with this long drive, again, if you want to say anything about the charity, now would be an absolutely perfect time.
That's what worries me, Wayne. You're one of them. When you cross Pedro, he's cut you off.
Love the driving in this game. Alright, so we'll take the next on-ramp off, or ramp on. Pull jerky. Once we get to this bit here, we're going to reload checkpoint to just make it a bit faster to get to the door on the left. Okay, so with this, we are supposed to be using this machete to deal with all of the enemies coming up, all of these guys here. Let me show you how to actually do this fight. You start with these two, you ignore them completely, and you just leave. Simple as that. So we're going to be using the machete for a different reason. It's going to come up as soon as we get onto this rooftop. This guy has a gun. Now I have a gun. So we're going to be doing this bit. We're going to be taking the slow motion here because I do not trust this bit in the slightest. Getting a good shot on this guy. So ideally here, we take care of all the enemies that are spawning in. Usually I would just jump to the right, but look at my HP and how much I just lost just there. This bit is like actually genuinely terrifying. I don't know why that's not hitting that guy, but sure. I don't trust any enemy at this point with my HP. Take care of this guy. What we're going to do is shoot this window so we don't break through it like with a slow animation. We're going to jump through it slowly and intentionally go to the left. Because my HP being a bit low, I'm going this way to be a bit more covered from the shotgun guy. Jump up these containers. We're going to jump into the water. So this is where the cool stuff begins. There is a very big kill field in this water, so I'm going to be sticking to the right-hand side here. The only way that I can get up is from this middle bit here. So we're going to be jumping up this. Now, there's several different invisible markers that the game has that we have to trigger to be able to carry on. So I'm going to run back here. I'm going to restart from checkpoint because not only is this going to heal me, it's also going to make one of the enemies actually run forward a bit earlier than they should, which is good. Take care of you and you. And then the enemy at the top is supposed to have gotten stuck, and it looks like he actually has this time. Take care of him. So what we're going to do is something really cool. We're going to go over here, spam the cover button to get back onto this side. We're going to go around the outside edge of the restaurant. Here you can either walk around the side or go a bit slower and take the jump over. And when we get to the... Are you kidding me? Wei Shen, push me over. Okay, that might be... Yeah, it's a restart checkpoint. It's too far away. You pushed me away from the wall there. That's not happened for a long time. You. Really all the way over there? Okay. So do it again. So jump over. Hit cover so you get back in cover and you don't fall off the roof. Just take it a bit carefully this time. It was the window that pushed me over. Yeah. So what we want to do is go over here. We're now in the back of the restaurant, and you are now looking at Big Smile Lee, the final boss. So what I'm going to do is aim at Big Smile Lee, to the chest. Actually missed, okay. To the chest. Ram him. That should have put him on 1 HP. You'll know if I've done a little bit extra because it'll go wrong in the next bit. And we can now just kill every enemy in the restaurant before we actually do this next little scene. Excuse you. You can get Ponytail from behind. That's an insta-kill. And with that, that's pretty much the end of the run, if I've done everything correctly. Because there should be no enemies left here. Big Smile Lee is ahead of us. We have a little bit of a clumsy walking segment here. Ideally, I don't mess up my movement in this next part because you don't want to restart from checkpoint at this point. Because if you restart from checkpoint, then Big Smile Lee is going to get all his HP back. And the trick will not work. We can do what we did earlier, a little bit of an early attack here to jump over the rooftop. This one, on the way down this one, I'm going to be doing an attack to get a bit closer to Big Smile Lee. Run to the end of the pier, do the jump. Cool, all right, we should be good. So, at this point, we're going to go to the end. Big Smile Lee still has the HP value that he had when we left the restaurant. Sometimes Wei Shen T-poses into the ocean here, which is fine. This is not a skippable cutscene, and provided I've done this correctly, skipping the next cutscene, we should have Big Smile Lee in front of us, and it should be a one-hit kill fight. Time will be when I shove Big Smile Lee into the ice chipper, by the way. Perfect. So this is supposed to be a long fight where you counter Big Smile Lee a couple of times. You see this cutscene, you've done it correctly. This QT indicates that he is literally on 1 HP. At which point, we grab him, and we shove him into this. And that is time. definitely a few things went wrong there that I would have liked to have gone a little bit better, but it's still pretty good. First half of the run was actually pretty good. I think first half of the run I was on PB pace for like an hour and a half, but yeah, pretty good run. Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for your generous donations. Really appreciate it. And I think we have one more run after this, right?
Yeah, thank you very much for this run, Froob. Yeah, we have the last stunt jumps run coming up by Joshimus, 69 out of 70 stunt jumps in San Andreas. Yeah, coming up after a short setup period, so don't you go anywhere.